know when it's a date?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, Jesus.
Shut up. Nah, shut up. Stop recording.
Wait,
Stop
do
recording.
you
Stop
dictate?
recording.
Dead the whole episode.
Wait, hold on.
That was just balance, bro.
Do you, as the guy, dictate when it's a date?
Absolutely not.
So they dictate it.
It's a mutual agreement, man.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Why?
Strangers they meet,
Right.
they talk about common interests, there's flirtation, and then they're like, you know what, this is long for text and WhatsApp. Let's meet up. And then both sides agree. And
Does
then,
that make it a date?
and then they go to somewhere fancy, maybe for a walk.
That's literally what Peter's done. Nah, bro, that's literally what Peter's done.
We need to cancel.
He was like,
we need to
yeah,
cancel walking
Sometimes
discourse.
it results in sex.
That's literally what he did. He was like, oh, dead this WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
I'd rather just see you.
It's mutual.
That's what he
So
said.
if I invite a girl over to my house, is that a date?
What are you doing? Have you laid out a nice little carpet
Like
with
the
them?
feng shui and all of that.
No, I'm
Is there
talking
meat
about
and cheese board? Have you got
yeah,
wine,
exactly.
settings, candles?
Have you got some
No, I'm not
saucy
doing that. I've
That'd-
just,
that'd be stew.
but the setting is very nice.
So you booked a Chinese and told her to come.
100%.
That's not a date.
That's a
That's a disrespect.
So what makes it a date? So that's disrespect.
that's a dick respect.
This could
End.
Terribly. Episode 34.
That's right. Hella mature.
Pundy dance floor.
Got any more?
I got more in store.
That's kind of sore.
It's goals galore.
This is getting poor.
I feel like this is twice as nice in 2001.
Inside.
Inside.
Shout out all the UKGs out there.
Don't know. This could end terribly. Episode 34. You are here with man like Abs, man like Johnny Vivaz, and we have special guests. It's actually the official first cross podcast
Yes.
collaboration. We've had these two gentlemen with us before,
Yes.
but not in the capacity of their own establishment,
Yes.
their own podcast. So let's make this official. It is This Kid and Terribly featuring Rhymes Like Dimes. We have Yemi and Peter Rabiade, the bro them, the bloodline. They are here. Welcome back.
What's going on? What's
Peter and
going
Yemi.
on?
I didn't say your names, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Did I say your names?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This rum is already
You've had 2 sips.
already doing things. And I just want to say shout out Mo. He's gonna think I hate him. But the reality is, Mo, you guys can attest to this. There's only 4 microphone slots. Yeah.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, no, extra.
I'm seeing hella spots.
There's one
Conspiracy.
extra.
This one's spacious room.
Don't. Let's not do that. Let's not.
He upgraded.
Boy.
Let's not let him drive a wedge between. You know what I mean? Like,
Bros.
come on, don't let him do that.
What do you,
I just
what do you
clocked.
mean, you people?
Look, interpret it how you will. We're gonna fucking jump right in, gentlemen. How are you this week?
All right. Thank you, bro. How are
Blessed
you?
and highly favoured.
Blessed and highly favoured, Pete.
sir.
Wonderful,
How are
snappy.
you?
I like it. I'm great, excellent, feeling fine, feeling great. Johnny,
I'm right, man.
Yemi,
I'm doing well.
the Tindler Swindler.
Where do we start, man?
Look, if you haven't watched it by now, look, I think when I watched it and I was posting about it, I possibly jumped the gun because I wasn't quite getting the responses from it that I would have expected given just how fucked what I watched was. But then as I allowed the days to pass by and I'm seeing growing concerns amongst our women. I see more and more posts. I'm like, oh, this is picking up steam. It is the newest Netflix documentary. It's actually the first documentary I read today that shot to the top, straight to the top of their most watched. If you turn on your Netflix, it's probably going to be most popular, most trending #1 in the world. It is the story of one of Johnny's mandem, one of his people.
His bros, them.
Man like Simon Leviev.
That's not his real name, though.
I have a statement prepared. Just I
Man,
expected anti-Semitism on this
Simon
episode.
Damage control coming.
Leviev,
Yeah.
right? The newest member to White Boy Summer, yeah?
Wow, this is all right. Whoopi, carry on.
Yeah. Do you call me Whoopi? That's got to be
really wrong, bro.
racist. That's got to be
really wrong,
racist.
bro.
Yeah, no, that's got to be racist.
Why?
You call me Whoopi.
You just called a Jewish guy white people.
Whoopi's Jewish anyway. Shut up. Goldberg. This is the story of man like Simon Leviev, who managed to create a pussy Ponzi scheme.
Wow.
Fair to say?
That's what I
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
need
put
you
it.
guys to laugh when I say shit like that, man. Because it's
We're,
making me look mad out here. If you don't laugh, thank you.
We're calling it a Ponzovsky scheme in the community.
Ponzovsky scheme.
Yeah, because it was so successful. We don't want the Italians to own it.
Yeah. And it is the story of a man who did just that. He managed to fleece a number of women. I mean, an unaccounted for number of women. We don't really
Quite
know.
a high, and a couple.
Yeah, this
There was a whole
worldwide.
couple. A chauffeur got finessed.
yeah.
Worldwide.
This is intersectional finessery.
Yeah, the story that we see on Netflix is the story of 3 women, but there was no doubt plenty more. And if you don't know, we're not going to give away. I say we're not going to give away too many spoilers as we're about to break this thing down entirely.
Sorry, we need to spoil. We need to spoil.
But if you haven't seen this, there are timestamps on the description, so you can fast forward. But for everybody who has seen this, let's talk about this together. This guy managed to, on at least more than 3 occasions, get in excess of 6 figures from women based off a lie that he comes from one of the richest families in Israel, but cannot access funds because of a business dealing that he has in the offing, which is giving him a level of exposure which puts him under threat.
Stereotypes.
What he then did was target a whole bunch of very mad looking, and when I say mad looking, I mean Scandinavia, you're looking very mad right now. He targeted your people and he fleeced you within an inch of your life. And I'm talking, one of them, I think, had $250,000 worth of debt. She went to loan like to get bank loans on.
I don't know where she's
at
getting the
least 7
credit
or 8
from.
of them.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to the Dutch lady who thought that like she was doing
My
bits
queen.
in it.
My queen. Yeah, we're going to address her.
You know, I tweeted about her. Can't believe I just said that. I tweeted about her, and then I was just like, actually, nah, because you still gave him 140 G's over 14 months. Like, imagine linking up with a girl and
But
just
she's still earning back.
10 bags.
She sold a lot of the stuff he bought her.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she got
We'll
back.
get through. We need to walk through the
She was a
whole.
little bit more
about 10
gangster
G's
than the.
She was fully gang. She tracked
Where
man.
where do we want to start
I
with
want
this
to know
one?
if he did market
Can-
research.
Before we
hang on.
On-
before we descend into rampant anti-Semitism, can I just make a statement for the defence on behalf of my people?
If you must.
I've written a letter.
This is gonna be great.
Dear Netflix, my name is Danielle Jonathan Vivas, and I stand here as the representative of Good Jewish Boys International,
Objection. I'm joking.
registered in Bow, East London.
Don't know.
The white community watched Hollywood produce the documentary American Psycho, and they did not say anything. The black community watched Hollywood produce the documentary Coming to America. They did not say anything.
Where's
The
this going?
Asian community watched you produce the documentary Rush Hour, and they did not say anything.
That's what?
Classic.
The Jewish
Asian.
community will not allow you to produce the documentary Tindler Swindler
Why not?
and get away with slander. We feel we've been unfairly represented, and as is to be expected, you will see our lawyers in a court that we control. Thank you very much.
And to that you say,
What do you even say to that, man? The
whether
fact,
he likes it or not, we're going in on
the
it.
fact that Danielle Jonathan Vivas thinks that Coming to America is a documentary is very telling.
and Rush Hour.
And Rush Hour.
Are they not?
Documentaries, bro.
Boy, if they're fiction, this is fiction too. We need to.
This was a comedy, to be fair.
It was
meant
funny.
to be like a true crime type documentary. No, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it lost its purpose real quick.
These are 30-something-year-old women.
All right.
With awful skincare.
I feel like we should say to what?
Were their skin not good?
They have aged terribly.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it might be the stress.
Yeah,
I mean, I noticed that as well.
I was going to say, bro,
I swear
like
I'm gonna say it.
250 G's down, that'll give you a few wrinkles.
That's giving you bags.
Yeah.
You're losing bags and gaining them under the eyes.
I feel like we should say, obviously, you know, the women involved and all the women who've been swindled, you know, I suppose in a way, solidarity to you.
No.
Let me
No,
finish.
absolutely not.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Obviously, you don't want stuff like that to happen to someone, right?
Look.
And can I finish?
Sorry, I'm sorry,
go
man.
on.
I'm trying not to bite. You go.
So, let me just say, I'm sorry that happened to you,
But yeah,
ladies.
sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry that happened to you,
But one
ladies.
thing I was trying to add you though.
I'm sorry that happened to you, ladies. Now, saying that, I feel like this documentary has set women back about 100 years.
At least.
At least.
At
Why?
least.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yo, I saw the baby getting into a fight with Daddy Lee's brother on a bowling alley this week, and I was like, my people been set back 50 years. So this definitely sets back women at least
Definitely a setback.
150
Back
years.
to like the suffragettes before they could vote and all that. You know what I mean?
I have some comments. At the beginning of the film, the Norwegian girl, Cecile,
Yeah.
publicly admitted she's been on Tinder for 7 years.
Did you ever seen her?
No, I've never been to Oslo. She says she's got 1,024 matches. Now, obviously, we've all been on Tinder for a few years, at least me and Pedro.
No, I absolutely have not.
The one thing I want to just give advice to people is if you're 1,000 matches deep, 7 years in the
That
game,
sounds wild.
and you have not done the delete and restart, you really need to grow up.
Does
You
that
really
wipe
need to
out
grow
the
up.
matches?
Yeah, starts again. You get to rescreen
So are those-
rescreen the community.
Those 1,200 after the documentary, or
That's her.
before
That's,
she
that's
met
her
him?
bank. That's her whole bank over 7 years of.
yeah, I'm not
swiping.
gonna lie, bro. I need some money. I might get the Tinder like premium where I can like tap into Oslo people, just see if she's there and just ask her for some
Her
for
name's
some
all over-
pounds.
Yeah, just Facebook.
I need money.
Just say your enemies are
You
after
reckon
you.
she's still got her account?
I mean, yeah, I think
100%.
she's I think that's what she said at the end.
said
I
at the
think
end,
she
yeah.
said I'm still out in these streets. I'm still looking for love.
Just yeah.
Me too, honey.
Just tell her your enemies
Me too.
are after you and you need money. And you'll probably get it.
And it's only right that we have a Peter on the podcast tonight. What's the line? Peter, down, blood everywhere. Send money.
All right, let's start at the beginning.
So that was the first opener. She publicly admitted she'd been on Tinder for 7 years, which is awful, honey. I would never do that. But even now that the cat's out the bag, at least step up your game. I also want to spare a moment for the guys who are visibly getting swiped left on the film. Can you imagine being one of those? Imagine seeing your own face on Netflix getting swiped left by a girl who got done by
That's
a
a
nice
lot.
Jewish boy.
That's a low point.
It's very bleak.
Yeah.
TV time,
She said that she went on the IG background check for his personality. That's a lie. She's lying.
He's there though.
Yeah. I mean,
still
there's, I also noted that he was an instant responder.
Yeah.
Red flag number one.
Oh, is it?
It's red flag number one.
Yo,
An instant responder doesn't
you
give
are.
time to
you're a
breathe
you're
or
a
marinade.
You're a game player.
But even when she goes on Instagram and she sees the pictures of her of him with his dad and the family
Yeah.
by the balcony, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How can she not notice that that's quite clearly doctored?
Yeah. Well, you could also just Google my man and see if he's got any kids. Like
That
the
too.
billionaire guy, right? That would be my first thing. Anyway,
I do due diligence on everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I
so
do it all. IG, LinkedIn, all of it. High five, all of it.
moving,
High five.
moving beyond
Yeah.
the
Don't
do that
accounts.
more.
What's high five?
Shit,
What's
you're
high
young.
five?
You man are young.
I
Carry
remember
on.
High five.
Yeah, you must.
Never used it.
the hell
He's
is high
younger than
five?
you. Shut up.
Never
The hell
used
is
it.
high five?
MySpace. Is that better?
Yeah.
I do it all.
High
Barely
five.
remember MySpace.
Yeah.
Other red flags. Same night link up at the Four Seasons.
Don't know. Send the location, and I'll be right there.
That's not a red flag though.
Park Lane.
Same
Four
night.
Seasons. Like, okay.
Park Lane
I
as
think
well.
I think we all need to be
Johnny dates brokies. He doesn't
Brokies,
understand. He doesn't understand.
firstly true, but also we all need to be honest with our own source.
I've
Does-
done first night on my yard.
Does
before.
baby girl think that she's Four Seasons on the first night quality?
Yes.
I feel like this is
If
egotistical.
you've got the P, then why
100%
not?
she does.
I feel like this is egotistical of her to believe that she's in that league.
I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but do you really want her to hate herself that much?
No, she needs to respect herself more
I don't know, man.
and ask for a 4-star.
Seems like minimal downside.
The next note I had was that the draw of a nice Jewish boy is undefeated.
I'm not.
I mean,
Who said that? You or her?
Simon Leviev and the Graham game, they all fell for it. The draw of a nice Jewish boy is undefeated.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing, but okay.
He's got a job from his dad in the diamond industry. That's red flag central.
Okay. Why?
That's- I mean, very few clean hands in the diamond business.
Okay.
Very few people got to get a job from daddy that are actually worth anything. Really. Baby mama turns up on the first date.
Don't know.
This is the biggest red flag of all.
Just so you know my body, innit?
No spoilers
You
at
are
this stage.
one of many.
No spoilers at this stage. Baby mama turns up on the first date with the you.
Yeah.
This is 6 flags,
but
baby.
this is after she said yes to hopping on a private jet
Yeah.
with a random stranger, just for vibes.
And I'm glad that you raised that because not only is it just a private jet, which is weird, it's a private jet to Bulgaria.
Don't know.
And of all countries I'm looking to be flown to on the first date, I'm not trying to get to
Are your
the
standard
FIFA.
tie? Are your standard tie?
Hey, yo, shout out our
After 4 seasons, I'm going to Bulgaria. No, come on.
To be
shout
fair,
out our
I hate you.
Bulgarian listeners, please.
I've actually been to Bulgaria twice.
In her defense, though,
You ain't going back.
in her defense, I understand the spirit of spontaneity. And, you know, it's romantic.
Peter.
You know, a lot of this sounds, you know,
Peter.
sometimes you get caught up in certain things.
I think if there's anybody in the room who would consider Simon Leviev their spirit animal,
Oh, bruv.
it's Peter Rabiot.
This brother right here. This brother right here. He watched it and was inspired.
And I think we should have started this segment by saying we do not condone the behaviour of Mr. Leviev.
That's what I was trying to do before you interrupted
But
me.
what I do want to say is, you women, you're stupid.
Fully.
You were saying,
Then there was a story about jail in South Africa. This is when the story warmed up. Early doors. False pretenses. Yes. My favorite bar was that he was manhandled because he was Jewish. When in doubt, zan it out. That's fucking right. He's the kind of guy that you want to save, baby. Baby, please. This savior complex is what gets all of them into trouble.
yeah,
Be more selfish.
yeah,
Be more selfish. You can't be saving these broken Jewish boys.
yeah.
Except me. Then he packs her off from Bulgaria. That's haram. That's haram. One quick night in the hotel, ships her back to whatever Auslandic place she comes from.
I think she's London based.
And she is actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought she was based in Oslo.
yeah, she here.
I wasn't paying attention to her.
Or at least she's based here now. Maybe when that whole furore was happening.
She got the Netflix check now. She must be good.
I don't know if they got a check, bro.
They
Got to go
We're gonna
fund.
get to this
They
at the
got to
end.
go fund me. Can we? I mean, we're not gonna go. It was a 2-hour thing, yo. We're not gonna be.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right,
let's-
I can make some specific points. I just had to say, on like taking your side of the debate on how awful Jewish people are. This guy's accent is fucking awful, bruv. Wait, can you imagine him with his little Sabra Yiddish accent being like, "Baby, please, I need to have the money, the stress of this. My enemies coming to get me, baby. I love you."
On a scale from 1 to 10,
The least sexy thing in the world.
How unintimidated were you when he was shouting and threatening?
Oh, it's maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen. Have you seen his like dumpy little body when he's
Well-
like walking around?
We're fellas though. Like they get shook sometimes.
But even the girl from what's her name? The girl from Stockholm.
Yeah.
When she was talking to him and he was threatening her and shouting. She didn't even seem that.
I swear
that-
all these women are
that
taller
shook.
than him as well. Because in all the picture, he's like some 5'8" little Ashkenazi boy. Like he's not threatening to no one. All these Scandinavian women are towering above him in photos in the club.
Yeah.
Guy's a clown.
100%. I just feel like the Cecil, she ignored all the red flags.
Yeah.
She ignored all of them.
Willingly.
Why?
Willingly.
What we're trying to get into is why? Why did they ignore those signs?
Respectfully.
Love.
I saw
Not even respectfully. She was desperate. She's desperate for love. And desperation is not hot in these streets.
objectively though, she's not bad looking.
Not
was
at all.
she?
No, but I mean, if she's been on Tinder for as long as she has, then clearly things haven't gone right for her. So she's come across someone that may tick all the boxes and, you know, overexcited a little bit.
Trust Pete to sympathise.
What do you mean, bro? I think it's real though.
I just feel
It's
like
real.
ladies, like if these guys are on dates with you and they like start oversharing and love bombing, I love you, I love you, I love you, take all my money, let's move in together, 15 grand a month budget. He's
Overlooking
he's
Covent
he-
Garden,
he's
that
trying
mad
to
chat.
he's trying to overwhelm you.
Mm-hmm.
If he's like taking a pic with his expensive car and fucking posing, looking away from the camera, right? He's probably a bellend.
It's
also,
definitely a helmet.
right?
Oh, 100%.
And like, if he's asking you for money, not even your money, you're having to take out loans.
Yeah, don't.
also,
this
Because your
is-
money doesn't even stretch that long. You
also
have to ask him. And he's doing it after a couple of months. You have to ask him, where are your people?
But also, the enemies
Where are your
thing.
own people?
The enemies
Where
thing
are
as
your
well.
families?
Yeah, the enemies thing as well. I've got loads of enemies that everyone's after me. How is that not doing?
Why don't people like
massive
you, bro?
Red lights in your head.
Why have you got enemies?
Where are your
Why have
friends?
you got enemies?
Where are your friends?
You're not Tupac.
Where are they?
Listen, it's tough being Jewish. It is tough being Jewish. But the enemies line was overstretched to a degree that was unnecessary in this.
I'd almost understand, and this is the one thing that pissed me off, but this is just how my brain works. He wasn't even with any of these women at any given time long enough to dickmatize them.
One night here.
Because you know, like a lot of women
maybe
are
it was-
like,
maybe it was a
I'm
first-time
staying,
dickmatizement.
I'm staying here because you know what he does. You know what I mean?
she
Like
was
the
looking for flats in London by her damn self.
power of the pussy, power of the pee-pee, all that shit, right? We know how that go. But there wasn't even like he was barely there.
There's very little.
So his bars must be just
A1.
Or was he just love bombing?
Or their
Does he-
self-esteem was very low.
That too. Because he doesn't strike me as the coolest brother.
he targeted them. So let's be real. Like, you know, you mentioned her 1,200
Likes or whatever,
matches
7
or
years in the
whatever.
game.
He probably had a bag as well, right? So he
Target, I don't know if
targeted.
target's the right word,
No, he
bro.
definitely
He definitely
targeted.
targeted them.
You
I think-
he,
Yeah, but you don't know.
It's not a 100% success rate, Pete, right? Like, he's going to be trying those bars with like all the women, and the ones that stick are the ones he hits. You know what I mean? Like,
For me, all game probably sounds better in the Mandarin Oriental.
yeah.
The same chat in a 5-star does
That's
not
facts.
run so smooth
Yeah,
in Blue's Kitchen.
So I saw a
there's absolutely no need for that.
and we're going to be attacking. We're going to be attacking the wokies today.
We're attacking Pete today.
and Pete. I saw, and I hate using that term because I sound like Piers fucking Morgan. But yeah, this has been a bad week for the super woke. I saw an article about the Tindler Swindler, and the article headline said something along the lines of, "We cannot be blamed for wanting to be swept off our feet by a society that taught us as little girls that such behaviour is the epitome of romance."
Blame Disney.
But lads, that's not entirely wrong.
Pete.
I'm not excusing them.
Pete.
I'm not excusing like ignoring the clear red flags. I'm not, but that's not necessarily a lie, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of women are taught that from young.
and some women go into
So
that.
so when you
They
when
horn
you
into
see
that.
something that is a little bit close to that, and it could be that, why would you not run towards it?
Pete, we just spent a long time talking about red flags. Like, romance doesn't have to be the Mandarin Oriental or a first date on a private jet. Romance could just be, I don't know, bro. Like, open it.
true.
Like, it could. Come on,
That's true.
Fam, I think what happened to those women could happen to any woman, bro.
I think
Bruv.
what's
Do you
important-
respect the women in your family? Never in life. My sister, are you mad?
I think-
my mother, my own mother.
Yeah, but that's you can't
Uh-uh.
speak on them though, innit? That's like an elite group of.
Yo,
Do you know
if
what I
I had a female friend of mine who fell for this shit, I'd call her at random times throughout the year and just laugh.
I think what's
and then drop the
important-
phone again.
What's
Some
important
friend
to
you are.
note here is
Who
that
needs enemies?
is much like Coming to America, Cinderella isn't intended to be consumed as a documentary, and people who do consume it as such really need to take the onus on themselves.
Sir, who consumed Cinderella as a documentary?
Why do you keep calling everything a documentary? that's what I
What are you
wanna
on about?
You're sick.
What are you on about?
Yeah, he's sick.
I feel you though, but
Were they gold diggers? And that's kind of where I want to wrap it up. 'Cause this was the big debate. Were they blinded by the lights, or were they actually willing L takers due to their gold digging desires?
But they were lending money.
yeah, why would you take
yeah.
loans out for that purpose?
These are gold
You know what I mean?
shovelers.
How could they have been
this
gold
is
diggers?
terrible.
I don't think they're gold
understand
diggers.
that
They got
perspective.
drawn into his life. Don't forget that
Yeah.
they took the loans out thinking that they were going to get paid handsomely, right? The repayment. And they thought that his money had been locked up as a result of these threats against his life, and he was going to secure this 7-figure deal or whatever it was going to be. So it was an investment from their side. You know, the gold digging thing doesn't necessarily just have to be I take. You know, there just has to be a commitment from you, knowing that the long game is I'm going to live this life of luxury. So is that what they were after?
I think in the case of Cecile, she was genuinely in love with the guy. And
Yeah.
his lifestyle was a bonus. With the other girl, the Swedish girl, they were just friends. So she was just indulging in anything that he was going to put her in, any situation he was going to put her in.
She's even the bigger.
That relationship didn't make all the sense.
She-
in the
yeah,
world,
she's
though.
even the bigger
I
dick.
reckon they were intimate.
100%.
For me,
She was way too invested in that
Yeah.
relationship.
The
for
one
it
that-
To lend him as much
do
as
you
he
know what I
lent
mean?
him.
the one that jars me is that the one who actually looks like a gold digger, the Polina, the Russian one, seems to be the only one that didn't get finessed.
Yeah.
Madness.
She was probably, well, I mean, he's got to like a few of these girls, right?
Eventually,
He
innit?
just funds them, the ones that he likes, with money from the ones that he doesn't like.
God bless Dutch
ultimately.
Alyssa because she's gang. She tracked the flight. She found which plane he was
Yeah.
on from Prague to Athens. She's gang. I love
Can I ask
her.
you a question? At what point do
Oh,
we
boy.
consider him to be a genius? Is there a point in this conversation where we consider him to be a genius?
The point in which he is considered to be a genius is the part where he goes from Interpol to Instagram in about 5 days.
Bruv.
He went from Interpol getting arrested to Instagram a few days later saying, Habibi, I'm back.
He's got 10. He's got 10M racked.
He didn't go inside for.
He did. He was in for 5 months.
He was in for
Yeah,
5 months.
I mean,
It's a
He
little
hasn't,
stretch.
but he hasn't
In the
charged
in the
for
grand scheme of
He's
things.
free now.
anything else.
to be
He's
fair,
free
you
now.
Didn't even let me finish that sentence. But yeah, he went inside for less than a friggin', I don't know, man. It was the perfect crime. It was the perfect crime.
That bit,
Nothing was in his name.
that bit when he was homeless as well
Oh man,
in the 1-star hostel.
yeah.
That's 50 Cent taking the picture with the dead car in the car park.
Yeah,
energy.
yeah.
I rate that still.
He has to be considered a modern day genius. He's up there. He's a toxic pappy. He's a toxic king. We have to put him there.
Listen,
He's on the Mount Rushmore of toxic motherfuckers with Hush Puppy future Kevin Samuels.
Oh my days.
The community lost Bernie Madoff. We recently lost Jeffrey Epstein. This guy.
You gotta be careful with this line. Yo, you need to be careful with this narrative, Johnny boy. You just mentioned Madoff and Epstein.
This could then terribly lost 2 iconic friends, and
Where did you find this, brother?
Not friends of the show.
Where did you find this guy?
and Simon Leviev is just a natural successor. We welcome his ingenuity in the financial game.
And we'll finish here. All of the Hinges and the Bumbles and the Tinders of the world have apparently officially locked him off.
Oh, swear.
He cannot assume a new identity.
He's bagged one supermodel though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she better be rich. Because he ain't getting a job nowhere.
Baruch Hashem.
Don't think he
Actually,
needs
good
to.
luck to you, innit?
I don't know if he's got paper
He's still
anymore.
living a high life
Yeah.
in Israel. He's
Yeah,
back
yeah.
there. New girlfriend.
Do you know what I did see? You know, at the end of the film, yeah, that when you can do a business class with my man for £230, I might pay it.
What are you
I
gonna
might
learn?
pay it. Get him on the pod.
What are you gonna? Oh, okay.
Get him on the pod.
Yo, to be fair, I
For
pay.
230 quid.
I pay.
Yeah, come on,
That'd be
split
great.
that.
I pay.
Yeah, back it. Let's interview.
A little Zoom thing, Facebook, Instagram Live.
Let's
Might
do
as
it.
well.
He'll probably
Yeah.
take your money and not respond.
Yeah.
What would be the first question you'd ask?
Which was your bar mitzvah passage?
So, shout out to our Spotify listeners, our YouTube listeners, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and I missed one. I always miss it. SoundCloud, YouTube, one of them. Solidarity to those women. We do have to kind of finish that way, right? I guess we kind of have to say, just don't be so fucking stupid next time, you absolute idiot.
That's all.
You idiot.
That's all. We're with you, but
Just
smarten up.
Shine your eyes.
Smarten up.
Peter will tell you after years and years and years of like me giving him like advice with regards to the women and some of the decisions that he makes, that one of my main lines is, if they show you red flags, my G, please don't ignore them. Don't
away.
ignore them.
That's the moral of the story.
So that's the advice that I would extend to
moral of the story.
Cecile and Pernille and Aileen of Netherlands.
But I mean,
Good
in,
luck.
Be stupid. Just
in,
don't
in
be
saying that
stupid.
though, my red flags were never that bad.
Do you want me to get onto this pod and start talking about some of your misdemeanors?
We could do a bonus episode.
Yeah, we don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want
Okay, so unfortunately we need to bring the mood down just a little bit. Footballers have been moving a little bit mad in the last couple of weeks. Just after we put out episode 33, I think it was the Sunday. Might have even been in the edit while I was editing the last one. Woke up on a Sunday, I think it was a Sunday morning, and all of my WhatsApps, a few different chat rooms, like, you seen this Mason Greenwood thing, and I'm like, oh boy, what's he done? I'm thinking in my mind it's probably something small, petty, like, you know, and that last thing that he had with Phil Foden when they escaped out of the England camp and they went and like found those little Icelandic girls who ended up putting their whole thing on Snap. Turns out it was much, much worse. The girlfriend, I think childhood sweetheart, and they went to school together, Harriet Robson, uploaded, or somebody reporting to be her, got to use the right technical terms, right? Don't want to get sued out here. Uploaded a number of things. One being a bunch of pictures, which showed that she had been beaten up, bruises on arms, bloodied mouth. But there was also a much more horrible audio clip that was released. And that involved a conversation between her, I'm assuming, and who is being alleged to be Mason Greenwood, who is quite clearly in the video trying to force sex on her in quite a violent way. She pushes him away, or you can imagine the scene from what you hear on the audio. She's trying to stop him, and he is essentially using phrases or wording along the lines of, if you try to slap me, you try to push me away again, watch what I do to you. And as the video clip ends, and this is just my mind, I don't know how you guys interpreted it, it would appear that he kind of got what he wanted from that situation, was able to force sex onto her. Clearly what has happened thereafter has been a whole bunch of condemnation from all corners of the world. His team, Manchester United, made a statement very, very quickly that it had come to their attention that they were taking the necessary investigative measures. He was then arrested. There was some fuckery, absolute fuckery that came out from her dad.
Mad chat,
which was
Pussy
along the
over.
lines of like, really didn't want this to get out. We tried to tell her to delete it.
he's a great kid.
He's a
known him
great
since the
kid.
under 21s.
Yeah,
For
like
real?
it's a shame
Yeah,
this has
you've not seen it?
happened. Mad chat,
I
right?
can detach myself from watching the clips or listening to any audio or anything.
Yeah. So then
I did the same.
he
didn't
got
listen to
arrested.
it. Didn't want to listen to it.
He got arrested. He'd been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault, and he was there for a few days. I think the charges were then, I guess, is upgraded the right word. They were changed to on suspicion rather of sexual assault and threats to kill. He was then released on bail a few days after, but in the midst of that, he was, he was taken off FIFA. He had his Nike deal terminated. They made a statement saying he is no longer part of the Nike family. Manchester United actually sent out an email to all online purchasers of a Mason Greenwood shirt in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So not even this season, saying if you want to swap your Mason Greenwood shirt for something else, you can swap it out for free. And then there's also been, I have not checked, but all rumours that everybody at Manchester United, all of the superstars, have basically done the modern day disassociating by unfollowing him on social media. He's finished. I want to start by saying that. But that's not why we're here. That's not what I want to talk about. How do we stop it? How do we stop? He's 20. He's just turned 20, right? He was a teenager a few months ago. How do we stop this deeply predatory nature that is like embedded and rising in young men? Like, how do we stop this? What the fuck is going on? That's his childhood sweetheart, basically. They've been together for years, and he's beating her up, and he's forcing sex on her at 19 years old.
I mean, I don't know, man. I agree, he's finished. And when it comes to being able to stop it, a man like that, a young man like that, with that much power,
He's a kid.
a kid who feels like he's got so much power, he's in a certain position in life where he feels like he could do anything he wants. I don't know where he learned that. Don't know why he learned that he could just do that, force his way into things to have his way. There needs to be some kind of education about consent. When a woman says no, she means no. Stuff like that.
The basics.
The absolute basics. Unfortunately, the basics.
For me, it comes down to something a bit more basic. And it's more pertinent in the case of Greenwood than it is in the case of Mendy and the case of the other footballer whose name isn't out in the public, so we can't say it, but plays for Everton.
Allegedly.
And it's that, and I'm no fan of policing people's pockets, but this kid's a 19-year-old who's on such an obscene amount of money that he basically has lived a childhood or a late childhood with no consequences.
And more specifically, on so much money, the dad of his girlfriend who he beat up is so afraid of not having his mortgage paid for.
Well, he's losing the meal ticket.
That is just...
He's
that
losing the meal ticket.
He'd rather
right?
just try and silence this thing.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Well, I mean, you made the point for me. Daddy's losing the meal ticket, which is abhorrent, morally abhorrent. I'm not saying that paying scholars wages is going to stop people coming out of difficult circumstances, acting in different ways, or patterns of behaviour from developing in people. But it will stop these young kids feeling like they have no recourse to the law, or it will stop these kids feeling like there is a way out of it. Like, I can hire a good enough QC or a good enough lawyer, or I can pay off the press and the story won't get out, right? It's the money that gives these kids power to do this kind of shit. And that manifests itself either at 19, 20 in the case of Greenwood, or at 25, 26 in the case of Mendy, or later on in the case of the guy who's got so much money we can't even say his fucking name because it's not out in the public at the moment.
Who is that? You can bleep it out. Okay.
And plenty other footballers. Robinho's just gone down for something he did years ago in Milan. Numerous cases of high-profile footballers who've done fuckeries. Ronaldo can't even go to America for certain fuckeries. The guy's got so much cash, he's still kicking ball, and they sing his name at Old Trafford every week. And United fans aren't saying a damn word about him either. So it comes down to the power that the money that these guys get, but more viciously now, where like the upward curve of earnings for young footballers is just completely incomparable to what young footballers were earning 20 years ago. These behaviours are going to manifest earlier. They're going to manifest earlier because these guys are now walking command and control centres as multimillionaires whilst they're still teenagers.
I looked at him when he first broke in, or when they were rumouring to call him up to England, and I think it was his dad who was like, "No, we don't want to jump the gun. We want him to go slow. We want him to go through the system and so on and so forth." And I was just like, "That's really refreshing. Like, it sounds like this guy's grounded. It looks like he's got a good family around him." I'm not gonna lie, and I know that this is me just sounding a little bit old-fashioned. Maybe I don't consider myself to be, but it is what it is. When he did break out of the England camp with Phil Foden and he went off, I was like, okay, here's some early signs that this boy might not be an angel, because I think that was the first. I think that was his call-up. Yeah, maybe the first time he had been called up, both of their debuts. So they clearly weren't taking it all that seriously. And look, you know, they're horny little teenagers, and like there's girls on Snapchat trying to move to them. And I get it. Like, that was when the chinks started to show a little bit. But like, I don't know, man. Like, they're so far removed from reality and people who actually say no to them that the monsters are being created, to your point, and now they're just being created earlier than ever. I must have seen something the other day which is like maybe unrelated, but not really. It kind of goes into this sort of over-sexualization of just everything, and how just like perverted nature is just becoming like commonplace. I think it was an Instagram thing where like a woman did a post about sexual assault in the metaverse.
Yeah, I heard about
like
that.
People are putting on Oculuses, right? These Oculus things, creating their profiles and their personalities in the metaverse, seeing women who are also in the metaverse with them, and like groping them.
That's how fucked up.
Well,
like, virtually groping them. Like, and it takes the intervention of like other people who are also involved in like these Sims like type games it took another guy to come in and just be like, back the fuck off, mate. So it was so bizarre as like me on Instagram watching it, because you've got a woman who's got her body essentially being touched, and then another guy whizzes out of nowhere saying, back the fuck off, buddy, to the person who's doing it. Like, it's
in the virtual world.
In the virtual world.
That's very sus.
Like,
that just shows you where society is, man. That's actually mad.
like,
And the fact that people around people like Mason Greenwood just aiding and, you know, being an accessory pretty much. Like, his girlfriend's dad doing all that, saying all that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's different gravy, though. The dad is different gravy, because you can understand young boys, and one of their boys has fucking made it big, and now they're all millionaires basically, because he's a millionaire. They're going to go to the club and get bare bottles and chat to every bird, and almost every bird in there's going to want to chat to him because he's Mason Greenwood, and that develops a pattern that's impressionable in young boys and whatever, and you can maybe contextually understand why they move mad. The dad from your own daughter,
mad.
Come on, bro. If someone does that to your daughter, you need to go smash the up,
bro.
Not be defending him in the sun.
I think just backing up a little bit. I think that's why the conversation we were having on your last episode was so important, because I feel like the over-sexualization within society is feeding into the psychology of a lot of these young boys that are not learning self-control. They're not learning no. And I feel like that's very important, man. When you see sex everywhere and you grow up around a culture that you are taught to feed into your desires and your urges, you're not going to want to hear no. And you're not going to accept no. You're going to essentially like fight through that no.
Yeah.
So I think we also can't kind of remove that from the conversation.
Yeah,
I think that's very important.
I disagree with you last time. I'm probably going to disagree with you again. I don't necessarily think I don't think that removing tits from page 3 in The Sun has made it less likely for guys to develop this pattern of behavior when they're younger.
But
It's more the reporting of women and the stories and the lack of promotion of women to influential roles that gives women a subservient
part of
role
a
in
whole-
society.
But, and this might sound again like a pretty random plucking out of the air from me, but I love Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. When I first heard that song, I thought it was fucking amazing. And I've loved Robin Thicke for a very long time. And he was that long, scraggy haired guy like cycling through New York. When he released that video and then he released the naked one, and you're seeing what's happening in the video, and the lyrics are, I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it.
It feeds into that culture of over-sexualization, bro. It really does.
Like-
and music is also like a massive factor
Like,
in a lot of
I
what
think
these young
Maybe
boys
more
are
the
taking in
sus
the world.
lyrics than the naked women.
The issue
dance.
is
What's
But
the
it's
issue in that?
the lyrics don't come alone in a situation like that. The lyrics come with the males in the position of power, with women, naked women, just like running all around, just like prancing
So it's the
around,
blokes who've written
waiting
the
to be
lyrics that's
plucked.
the issue, not the women getting their tits out.
It's a broad.
Okay.
I feel like
I think it's both.
it's broad.
personally. I think
To,
it's
to
both.
Johnny's point, I feel like it's a little bit broader than just like the over-sexualization. It is how like women are presented generally, and the over-sexualization, which we feel like has been ramping up a lot, like over the last couple of years, maybe, has probably accelerated a lot of people who are Mason Greenwood's age to maybe think that they're all powerful and they don't want to accept no and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely helped, but I think we got to look at the broader picture of just how women are seen generally,
So what is the broader picture?
the way women are presented.
Okay.
In society, like subservient, lesser because they're women, inferior. All of that helps. All of that helps. It might not necessarily be direct
Because
in this situation.
we spoke about like countries where women take up premier positions in politics and business and so on and so forth. And I think we came to the conclusion that doesn't necessarily, it's a start, but it doesn't necessarily
But
help.
To Yemi's point,
To Yemi's
point, like ass in music videos is maybe at best symptomatic. It's not the disease. It's not the root. The disease is the portrayal of women in the press and society in general, and their role in popular discourse, which is as still maintained by men. Ass in videos is not why people like Mason Greenwood do shit like this. It's because
Not the link we
society
made.
is geared.
Not the link we made, but okay.
But it's that it's kind of the link that was made. Anyway, yeah, we're digressing. Ass in videos isn't the problem. It's the fact that women are portrayed, as Yemi said, as subservient and secondary in popular culture, and that's what feeds this kind of behavior.
Look, man, I think if you're like older than like 25 years old and you're still like resorting to violence to settle matters, then you're ultimately lame. But I'm not gonna lie, like I think we just need to start fucking people up.
100%.
There's always that.
Oh, this you can
100%.
definitely get fucked up.
Like
100%.
And the
like-
dad can also,
and his dad.
the dad can definitely
dad.
get fucked up as well.
Yeah, like my philosophy of like violence doesn't solve things doesn't quite apply here. If you see Mason Greenwood, just fuck him up.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
like if you have friends in your circle, friends of friends, extended network abusing women verbally, physically, fuck them up.
Because of his
Like,
age.
why are all you man like in the gym? Like, please use your muscle.
Yeah.
Please use your muscle. If you see a stranger on the street putting his hands on a woman, beat him up.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a brother touching an ass in a club, beat him up.
Facts. Slap him.
Beat him up. Beat him up. Like,
Yes, man, we gotta
finish
hold each other accountable
him.
as
Like,
well.
there needs to be negative association with this stuff. Probably not the best overall solution, but bruv, I feel like we're running out
Yeah, we're
of
past-
solutions.
yeah,
Education.
We're past that.
Where does sex education come into this? Where does upbringing come into this? Like, I don't know. I don't know what needs to change. I think we've almost taken a digress today, which again places onus on women a bit too much, and that's really not the point I was trying to make. I'm not saying that like, and I don't think Peter is either saying that like what we're seeing on TV is why men go and do this stuff. But I do think that we're living in a time where people are focusing on sex more than anything else, and that is doing things to the mind. That is doing things to the mind.
For sure.
And I don't think you can run away from that argument at all. I really, really hope Mason Greenwood's career is over.
Yep.
And please, you football clubs who like to take chances on the likes of the Ched Evanses of the world, I don't even know if he was guilty in the end, who like to take chances on these criminals and these sexual offenders just
Goodwillie
because
was another one that
exactly
done
that Scottish guy
Yep.
who like to take chances on these these ex-amazing ballers just because it's a draw and it will get you out of a sticky situation in your respective leagues. Please miss this one out. I beg. I beg. If you didn't want to give Ravel Morrison a chance, I please don't want to see you give Mason Greenwood a chance. I beg.
Yeah, more promise as well.
I beg. So let's move on to something slightly funnier. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say that.
Doesn't involve women, but involves pussy.
So there is a link. There is a link. There's a link between Simon.
At your age.
I'm gonna defend my seat as the Segway King. There is a link between Simon Leviev, Mason Greenwood, and Kurt Zouma,
Oh no.
all finding various ways to illegally smash pussy.
Kurt the Hurt Zouma
Shit.
in the second chapter. No, don't do that.
That was all. That was really bad.
In
bro.
the second chapter of Footballers
Link though.
Moving Mad. If you don't know the story, Kurt the Hurt got into a lot of trouble after a video of him.
Such a mad name.
When did he get that?
Hurt
when did he
Zuma.
get that?
That cat was hurt, no? Got into a lot of trouble after a video of him mistreating his family cat. Went viral. And yeah, he beat that thing's ass. Like, kicked it across the room, slapped a cat in the face. You know how sick you have to be?
He slapped a cat.
Yeah,
Slapped
there's a kick and
a
a
cat.
slap. Not only did he do the Zidane 2001 final volley, he clattered it as well.
Yeah, literally. First of all, anybody who harms an animal is definitely a killer.
He should also get thumped as well as Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, so if you know anybody who's on that, please stay safe. Are you a cat person?
Slightly, I do prefer cats to dogs, you know.
Mental. Anyway, stay safe if you know
set
anybody
me up,
who...
Funny.
Cats are awful. There's not a cat in the world that I like, really. Like,
Yeah,
so
I'm
this...
not a
I
cat
really
guy.
tried my best to,
Cats
like,
aren't it?
put that aside for this. And I think I did a good job of putting my cat hate to the side. But, yeah.
Not victim blaming again, are you?
Oh,
Takes
wow.
a special... Yeah, it takes a...
Oh wow.
Johnny, you're not all right, man.
Need more, need
Johnny's
more
not
rum.
alright,
Need more rum. Yeah. So long story short, he abused this cat, and it caused a whole heap of trouble. First of all, his club, West Ham United,
What a shocker.
just down the road from us. You can see him from where I live. They condemned it initially, but it was a weird condemnation because they played him
Yeah, 24 hours later.
24 hours later
Pretty mad.
in what they considered to be a must-win Premier League game.
I mean,
Money talks.
Did they ruin the
Money
game?
talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
should he not have played? Or
We're going to get into it, Pete. Then, the RSPCA, shout out, friends of the show, seized this breeder's cats. And then West Ham said, oh, actually, this is actually quite serious, isn't it? And then fined him the maximum 2 weeks' wages. And if you play Football Manager, you know that you can only fine someone a maximum 2. It used to be 4 weeks.
Used to be 4 for 6. If it's like a red card in the Champions League semi-final and they fuck you up,
Yeah.
can't do that anymore.
The fees believed to be 250 grand.
250K. Thank you, Yemi.
Which is really my take from this entire story. That like animal welfare is bad, but who the fuck's paying Kurt Zouma 125 grand a week?
And we're going to get onto that. One of West Ham's corporate sponsors, Vitality, who offer health insurance, cut their ties because they considered West Ham's dealing with the matter as insufficient.
They're dog people though.
But things got... they are actually.
They got the little dog
the
for the
dog is
cricket
their whole
advert,
thing. Yeah. But things got very interesting when ex-footballer, ex-Liverpool footballer, Chris Kirkland, lost his shit.
So in this context, is he one of your people or my people?
Like, he's literally whiter than Casper.
He's Jersey dude ex-side man. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
And in an impassioned speech, started making very mad links between how this is being dealt with by the FA and how the FA deal with racism. He also seemed to imply that this
Yeah.
is worse
Yeah.
than racism.
Yeah. So when you said
Cue the outrage.
when you said like he started making links between this and racism, you were like, okay, yeah, no, he gets it. Yeah, no, he's like,
I was thinking the same
yeah,
thing.
come on, Chris, guys.
And he's like,
say the thing.
oh.
He's like, no, this is worse.
And you're
This is
like-
actually worse. Oh, fuck, he's so close. No wonder he played in goal. Like, he's so fucking close.
But, do you know what I mean? On the bench of the
Barely.
reserves team.
Johnny, let's get the stereotypes out of the way. Why do white people care about pets so much?
For real, bro.
Well,
We need the answer to that one.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the real shit in a bit.
yeah, well,
but
black people always run across the road when they see dogs, so we just kind of like. Feel
yo,
sorry
why
for
are
them.
black people scared of dogs? yo, to be fair, since we're on stereotypes, why are black people so afraid of
I've
dogs?
been chased by
Bruv, I've been chased by a couple
enough
dogs,
dogs.
man.
I've been chased by enough dogs in the dark
For no reason at all.
for
Do
no reason. Very aggressive.
you know what I mean? Minding my business, start growling at me for no reason at all.
Maybe that's
Just
why
because of my
Kurt-
pigment.
That's why Kurt Zouma kicked a cat because he didn't really want it with a canine.
Boy.
Yeah, so you guys care about cats a lot. Everybody came out. Gabby Logan,
Gabby Logan.
like you know the girls who do like Sky Sports News, like they were piping up like, why is Kurt Zouma playing today? And it reminded me of the episode of Atlanta, season 1, when Darius goes into the shooting. Was it season 1 or season 2? He goes into the shooting range, and there are these white Americans in the shooting range, and they're shooting at the standard, stereotypical outlines of a man. You know, where you shoot parts of the body, the head, da 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 da.
He's a black man.
And then Darius goes in. Was it a black man?
Definitely a black man.
Okay, cool. And then Darius goes in and he decides not to use the white outline of a male. He puts an outline of a dog. And then he starts shooting at it. And then the other guys, the white Americans, realize what the F is going down. And they lose their shit. They go over to him and say, hey there, boy. You can't be shooting no dogs. And he's like, well, why would I want to shoot a human? And they're like,
You don't shoot a dog.
you don't shoot a dog. And he's like, well. And then they basically kicked him out of the shooting range because the idea of shooting a dog was worse than the idea of shooting a fellow man.
Fellow man.
White people just aren't used to seeing dogs get shot as frequently as black people are in America. So in that context,
Wow.
you can understand the shock.
Johnny.
Johnny,
Johnny.
what's in this rum?
What's
in this rum? You just lost all of your black fans.
I mean, I didn't justify it. I just said it happens more often in America than,
Can you
than
just-
dog violence.
Gotta make your drink, man.
All right, so this
But
is
them really country ones probably end up killing their dogs a lot anyway.
At some point.
You know what I'm saying?
so this is actually bigger than stereotypes. This is actually bigger than the cats. Michael Antonio, Kurt Zouma's teammate, asked a very pointed question to the press who accosted him on his way out of training. And he asked them a very good question, which has been ringing all throughout the week. Is this worse than racism? It's a question that the corners occupied by our white counterparts can't seem to answer very straight. I think it was on Question Time where somebody posed the same question, and I think it was Fiona Bruce who was just like, they're two different things, buddy. Yeah, they are. But the fact is that in getting a £250,000 fine, Kurt Zouma has officially been punished more than anybody who has committed race-related crimes in football, including John Terry, including Luis Suarez.
But they wanted more punishment.
They still
some
wanted Kurt to lose it all.
Some people wanted him to be suspended for the rest of the season. Some people wanted him to be sacked completely. His brother, who recorded the video and posted it, has been dropped by his club as
Dagenham
well.
and Redbridge.
Dagenham and Redbridge until further notice. And again, weighing up next to John Terry and all that other stuff. I mean, it's a little bit much, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's
It's not a little bit much. It's a lot. When it's like when these men are racist like towards us and that, what happens? These little £20,000 fines. Like, what? How many teams have we seen that have barely been penalised?
That's it. He's been fined more than whole countries.
Bro, can you imagine?
The whole of Bulgaria got less of a fine
Can
than
you-
Kurt Zouma. Ridiculous chat. Ridiculous chat. Suddenly these men care. Now that it's sponsors coming out and they're worried that the Premier League, West Ham are seeing sponsors pull away from them, they're going, oh, no. This one's important. This one's important. Throughout, fuck knows, how many instances of fans booing, taking the knee or making monkey noises and throwing bananas at black players over the years. No sponsors have pulled out. No corporate responsibility. No PR statements. Suddenly this one seems to have garnered all of the attention.
So Wilfred Zaha was right. This knee shit is long.
Yeah, because it don't affect anything.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah. There is a campaign.
Man like Ivan Toney was right.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? This means, to be fair, the FA haven't actually done anything. This was a West Ham fine, right? So as it stands, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, the Football Association have actually kind of got this right. He definitely deserves punishment. But when it was, I don't know about you, man, how you guys feel about it. When I found out that he had been fined 2 weeks' wages and had his cat seized, I was like, cool, we move.
Seems all right.
Fully.
We move.
Yeah, I thought it was
What
fair.
more do we want from this?
Yeah.
Right?
A sacrificial lamb, basically.
I saw Darren Lewis, who's the Mirror's football journalist, prominent black journalist, kind of been really the only major black football writer in the game for the last 20 years. It made the point. Now the precedent's been set. Now companies have set pace. Oh, you see? Oh, yeah, you see these videos. You see this stuff happening, and you pull sponsorship. Very good. Let's see next time the tweet comes out. Next time the video comes out. Next time some players talking mad. Next time something racist happens. Next time a country has their fans acting mad. Let's see sponsorships disappear. Because if not, oh boy, then maybe animals are more important than black people. And you can speak with your wallet on that, innit?
Yeah. Is it hypocrisy given shooting of pigeons and pheasants? Is it hypocrisy given horses being whipped in horse racing? Is it hypocrisy that he has been fined for cruelty towards animals when everything else seems to be legitimate ways to fuck with animals left, right, and centre?
It's not hypocrisy.
They're not household
do that
pets.
to cats, do you?
But plus, they're
No,
not
but it's
household
animal
pets.
cruelty.
They're not household pets, though. Dogs are man's best friend. Cats are whatever they are, but they're household pets. They're animals that humans hold dear. Shooting foxes and shooting pigeons and, doing all that to horses, that's part of the sport. That's the
Horse
sport.
racing is fully haram when you think about it.
It's bad, bro.
It's proper fucked up. Like it's just
Fully.
fox hunting. All right, I
hate foxes, so
I can kind of understand it, and also
Yeah.
it's necessary pest control in the. Otherwise, like your chickens are getting fucked up, and your
Yeah,
farm's
yeah.
fucked. There's kind of maybe it's not ideal that you man enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
Very sus, but it kind of like there's a reason that it should happen. Horse racing's fucked, bro. That shit should have been cancelled a long time ago.
Bro, what humans do to animals, period. I remember watching this documentary, I think it's called Earthlings, about how animals are used for food, for entertainment, for fashion. And they go behind the scenes of like farms where, cows are getting killed and pigs are getting killed and all that kind of stuff.
Yo,
What we do to animals is crazy.
foie gras. Have you ever seen like foie gras? What goes into making foie gras?
What goes into
Like the
making
process of like, it's like duck liver essentially. The process of getting that shit out and the inhumane circumstances or conditions
What, they
rather.
cut it out alive or something?
Oh man, it's mad. I thought it was Earthlings where they unearthed what happens in the making of foie gras, but I'll find the documentary. It's a mad one. Like, but it kind of goes into my point, right? Like, this situation is terrible, and look, it takes a specific kind of sicko to film that shit.
So
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I know what we're gonna do. we're gonna
post
film.
it.
We're gonna film you slapping your cat, Kurt. And he's like, oui, bien sûr. Like what?
and post it as well.
Yeah,
and then
but-
post it.
But tutus, mashallah, that's Darwinism, innit? Like they're both fucking idiots, and they both got each other clapped. So, like the Lord's done His work on this one, on this small one. If he hadn't recorded it, then he'd still be slapping his cat around. So fuck him.
Yeah. And do you want to know what my favorite part of this story was?
Go on.
Came today, actually. Mm-hmm. So we mentioned that he has been fined 2 weeks' wages, totaling 250k. Mm-hmm. Apparently, nobody at West Ham knew that's how much he earned. So you have apparently a mutiny amongst the players
That is so
who
jokes.
now want at least pay parity.
So basically,
That's a lot of money, though.
Wonderful.
So basically, it's a football manager situation where you just like
Yeah.
click,
You've renewed a contract.
renew the contract, and then the next day,
The other players are
Yes.
like, show me the money, baby.
wants parity.
Also wants a new contract.
Always hated when that happens.
Fuming.
Couldn't happen to a shittier club.
Yeah, it can happen to nice people.
Because there are some fucking wrong-uns running West Ham United. Do your research.
Anti-Semitic.
So good luck. Oh, yeah, they're Jewish as well.
Yeah.
You guys are everywhere.
Shout out Karen Brady though.
You guys are in porn as well.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
I guess, like, yeah, I guess the most famous porn star of all time, Ron Jeremy, is your people's as well, right?
Is he?
Yeah. Is he
Oh,
not
Baruch
Jewish?
Hashem, I didn't know that. Yeah, we'll claim him. We can have him.
Why would I don't think he'd want to do that.
I don't know.
He's been accused of like rape and torture.
Oh,
and
swear.
all sorts.
Is he
of
cancelled? No,
Yeah.
white people can hold him.
I mean, yeah.
Where?
One look at him and you kind of put two together.
On the subject of crime,
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
it's been a big week for the Metropolitan Police. The Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. Cressida Dick
What a name.
is out of here. Metropolitan Police Chief Commissioner Cressida Dick has buckled under the pressure bestowed upon her by London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who earlier this week said he had lost confidence in her ability to transition the Met into a trusted, loved establishment. And while he doesn't have the power to sack her, it's always been a thing where if the London Mayor says, I've lost faith in the commissioner, that commissioner has to do one. And that is what has happened. Cressida Dick is apparently going to get a very handsome 600k payoff,
Obviously.
apparently.
And a pension, surely.
And a pension, I'm sure. But this is many things, this news. It is the start of what is likely to be a massive, massive cover-up and a lot of fuckery that she presided over. But I want to focus on the positives. This is the end of somebody who is ultimately as bent as it gets.
Biggest op.
I think we've probably had in that position in history.
Yeah, there's a few takes. I mean, most Met commissioners are pretty bent. Lord Blair, pretty bent. Bernard Hogan Howe, pretty bent. I can respect a competent villain. She's just been a fucking idiot from day, right? And that is like, she's ultimately sourceless for having one of the most powerful jobs in the country and being too dumb to do anything with it. I don't know. Do you want me to do the whole background of fuckery? Should we list the Cressida Dick fuckeries?
Yeah, give us the big ones.
The big ones. The big ones are, so the first one, and the one that was kind of like her breakthrough season, was the Jean-Charles de Menezes fuckery when they shot when the state murdered an innocent man in Stockwell Station. When was that? In 2005? A couple of weeks after 7/7 and whatnot. She was the commander in charge of the operation. She acted, kind of impotently on poor information. The Met was deemed culpable for his murder, although she was somehow allowed off the hook in that case. She kind of went into hiding a little bit in her career, as we've discussed in the past, and then suddenly came back as an assistant commissioner and rose her way up through the Met. But the Jean-Charles de Menezes was just the first major fuckery. In the last year alone, I listed, she's been forced to apologise for the following: the failure to stop Wayne Couzens and the murder of Sarah Everard, forced to apologise for officers sharing pictures on WhatsApp of Nicole Smallman and Bibba Henry, forced to apologise for the Daniel Morgan report that the force is institutionally corrupt, that she was personally named in, which I'll come back to in a minute, and also for the blunders that allowed Stephen Port to keep murdering young gay men around London. She, like I said, was the commander during the Jean-Charles de Menezes case. The drip of scandals really started about 2 years ago when the Met was accused of a string of racist stop and search events targeting black people. Stop and search then became a popular fuckery pre-pandemic, and that clearly didn't do much because teenage homicides are at a 30-year high as a way to mark the end of her command of the Met. There was the Daniel Morgan report, which maybe we're briefly touching on because she was specifically named, which is about the murder of a private investigator in 1987, that the Met basically admitted in 2011 corrupt officers covered up. But when the subsequent report came out last year, said that the force was institutionally corrupt, she denied all culpability. It was actually proven that she had withheld documents from the investigation and somehow was not forced to resign at that point. But my favorite one is the very famous we don't investigate crimes retrospectively with regards to the Downing Street parties,
Don't know.
which is maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Wait.
We don't investigate crimes retrospectively.
So she's on some Minority Report shit.
Yeah.
The head of the Met
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's on an
With
LBC.
her whole chest.
Yeah, on an LBC interview, which means obviously like immediately free the Mandem
Her,
because
her
they've all-
lipless face.
yeah.
Lipless.
Just
Yes.
came out of the bottom of her nose.
Her lipless face.
Yes.
Only Yemi.
Brother, where's the lie?
Yeah.
Her
Lies told.
lipless face.
No lies told.
It's pretty bleak.
And just on that, on the discrimination tip, Andy George, who's the president of the leading black police body, the National Black Police Association, said that she was the most defensive and dismissive police leader, and that her defending the Met rather than seeking to end the culture of fear and the toxic culture within it was her Achilles heel. So she's got hella priors of just not doing anything and being the most ineffective leader.
Big time. Big time. I mean, she's so bent, she makes Harvey Dent look kosher, basically. But it really leaves the Met in a pretty fucked up place because now the bloke who is in charge of replacing her.
Who is going to replace her?
Aha, glad you asked. So there's a bloke in the running who's like mainly everyone's leading shot. What's his name? Neil Basu. Neil Basu.
Sounds black.
He's Asian.
Oh, sounds
He's Asian. He's going to struggle to get the job because he said Boris would probably not be allowed to be a copper for the whole pickaninnies and letterboxes thing. He's unlikely to get enough political support for number 10.
He sounds like gang.
He's probably the only guy qualified in the Met to get it. So the only reason Cressida Dick had a contract extended to 2024, this is fucking jokes when I read this, is because I think it was last year, a couple of years ago when they renewed it, there was literally no one else in the Met that they thought was competent enough to do the job. She got it by default. She Ole Gunnar Solskjaer'd her way to running the Met. But also pretty damning running an organisation that you've actually not cultivated anyone competent enough to replace you. So like I said, the bloke who's going to be in charge of replacing her now, Boris, is currently under investigation from the Met, and I'm sure that's all going to go fine and dandy. Priti Patel's kicking off. You need to control your baby mama.
I wish.
She's been kicking off. She said it was quote. What was
She
the
is
quote?
paying, bro. I'm sorry.
She's not. It's her. You need to talk to her. You man need to talk to your brother.
You
not
know
paying.
she
Not
is. She
paying.
would
She's not
lock you
paying.
up.
She's not paying, brother.
She will lock you up, but you might thank her.
Sir, she's not paying.
Priti Patel said that it was rude and unprofessional of Sadiq Khan to sack Cressida Dick in this sense, and felt that she'd been blindsided. It was deeply ironic for a woman who turns a blind eye to refugees drowning in the Channel,
True to form, though.
and was fired from her job previously
Don't
for
talk about my baby like that.
illegally lobbying the Israeli government, and also been accused of bullying and breaking the ministerial code.
You got
in their
one more.
job.
You got one more diss.
Sir, I beg of you.
Can
to your brother.
you control him,
I beg
please?
of you.
My baby pre.
bet
Pre. It's like Riri, but pre.
Ignore the haters. They're just they're just Marxist, baby. It's me and you against the world.
Yuck.
Oh man.
What is there to say? What is there to say? Fine. I mean, it's a sad day for normative determinism in that, like, you know, when you meet a guy called like Rob Pipe, who's a plumber, or Max Bricks, who's a builder, Cressida Dick, no longer a copper, and that's sad. I feel like we were all worse off for that. But if this is the beginning of the end of the modern Met, good. Do I trust the Tories to reform the Met into something like a consensual policing force that doesn't discriminate against minorities and try and strip the civil liberties of anyone who doesn't have the money to defend them? No, I don't. So it's probably going to be pretty fucked in the short term. There's going to be a power vacuum at the top. There's no one competent to replace her. Not that she was competent to start with. And really, I guess we kind of just need to keep up the energy of protesting, because this now incompetent police force that is corrupt, that she's quitting because she doesn't want to tin Boris, is going to be in charge of us not being allowed to protest anymore. And that's vibes.
But who in their right mind expects the successor to actually reform and change the culture?
Me.
Okay.
With time, yeah, of course.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I'm with
I
Amy on
expect
this.
it. I'm not.
I'm not so sure.
As in, like, it's an expectation of mine. Do I expect it to happen? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect anything to happen. Like, that culture is so embedded.
Institutionally embedded.
It's institutionally embedded. We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Leroy
Yeah.
Logan Saw on Small Act, how he was treated.
Yeah.
The whole Stephen Lawrence thing. We've seen this, and it's just it seems to be getting worse. Even.
Yeah.
It's just more brazen.
And if you ain't
Yeah.
seen Line of Duty, shout out Jed Mercurio.
Yes.
If you ain't seen Line of Duty,
Shout
Fun
out
fact.
Ted Hastings.
watch that shit.
Fun fact, you know who hates Line of Duty?
Who?
Cressida Dick.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Very good.
She's a bent copper.
She's a what was his line again?
Jesus, Mary Joseph and the wee little lamb.
Shout out Hastings.
Shout out him.
Shout out Super.
We are now venturing into the music industry. It's been awards week. The Brits have been here.
I got invited. Did you got invited as well, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
What do you mean?
I got invited
To what?
to the Brits. We went to the Brits.
What?
I'm in the voting academy, and I didn't get invited.
You went to the, we all went to the, you
I
went to
weren't
the,
invited.
Oh, you weren't invited? We weren't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I was trying to set him up because he wasn't invited and he was complaining about it on Twitter.
Were you?
So basically, what happened was someone tweeted, "I find it wild that producers and songwriters aren't invited to the Brits." I quote tweeted it saying, "All voting academy members."
I liked that tweet.
That's all.
That was a bite. But I feel you.
That's a
'cause I
big
agree
bite.
with you. I agree
Who
with you.
cares?
I agree with you.
Who did you vote for?
So basically, the process is you don't necessarily vote. You don't exactly vote for the winners. You vote for the nominees. So you have a long list of artists in each category. You pick 3 to 5.
Which
depending on the
categories did you
category.
have?
All of them.
Oh.
All of them.
So you were responsible for the fuckery that we saw the other night.
I was not responsible for anything.
What was the fuckery?
I was a.
I'm going to get onto it, Johnny.
I wasn't responsible for anything. I feel like it was a executive decision by the Brits to make it gender neutral,
Which I'm going to get onto.
which you're gonna get into.
You man have been ruining my fucking intros fucking all
Sorry,
night.
bro.
All night. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Carry on.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was just I feel like I was very much a name and a long list of names that sounded ethnic, that filled the quota of a diverse
Your name
academy.
your name's hella ethnic, by the way.
It is hella ethnic.
Yemi
to be fair.
Abiade.
It's hella ethnic.
Hella
to be
ethnic.
fair,
Yeah.
I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah,
but
but me and Pete kind of soften it with our white names, with our white first names, Peter and Richard.
yeah, I claim
But
I claim my Nigerian name still from a young age.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
To be fair, though,
I've not claimed my African names.
You don't use it.
Yeah,
though,
don't do that. I mean, to be fair, when I meet like new women these days, I introduce myself as Ade.
Which I never really got.
Do you know what I mean?
I've never known you.
That's
as
someone
Ade.
who's trying to hide.
No, I'm not trying to.
That's someone who's trying to not have the women do their due diligence on LinkedIn.
for real.
Now, some women is Peter.
If I call myself Ade, they can't find me. If you say Ade, Ade on Google, it brings up all kinds of man from Ekiti State.
Your knees just exposing my whole thing now, bro.
Fully.
He thinks I don't know him.
Because some women I'm Peter, some women I'm Ade. Do you know what I
Ade,
mean?
Ade.
When I'm out of town, I might be something else.
It don't make no sense.
Fucking
I did see a
criminal.
great tweet which said, doesn't even look like the Brits anymore. They might as well call it the Bengalis.
Someone did see Munya and Nella Rose host and thought, I thought it was the Mobos.
That was it. That was
That's
the jokes.
hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you man know how I feel about Adele. And if you don't know how I feel about Adele, I think you are all lying.
Boy.
I think you're all lying, okay?
What do you mean?
You don't enjoy her music
I don't listen to her
as
music.
much as you say you do.
I don't enjoy
I don't
it.
listen.
If you are listening to me and you listen to Adele, I'm calling you a liar.
But wait,
I'm looking into the mic and calling you a liar.
I've never once
her
listened to
19
one
album was really good.
You guys all take the piss. None of you can name 5 of her songs outside of the bangers.
So wait, can you?
I'm not a fan. I like Hometown Glory, fire, legendary, beautiful, classic. Rolling in the Deep doesn't count. It's the big one.
bait.
Skyfall, biggest fucking Bond film at the time. Of course you're gonna remember that one, right? But I don't think any of you know her songs, and you all lied when you said that. You said it was good. It was trash. You know it was trash. And the video looked exactly the same as the last one she dropped when she came out, what was it, 7 years ago? She doesn't even put much thought into her fucking album names, all right? Don't give me that shit. Nobody gets jiggy with Adele. And I was actually going to come in here and say that it absolutely pisses me off that her new album, 30, came out in November and it's already scooping up album of the year.
Talk about it.
Artist of the year.
Talk
I was
about
going to
it.
come in here and talk about that
Talk about it.
and spew mad vitriol
Talk about it.
to the music industry fellas who we have tonight as our guests.
Talk about it.
But no, the story got a bit better, actually. It got a bit better. Because when she went up to accept her award for, I think, Album of the Year. I don't know which one it was. It was one of them. She made a comment, and that comment really upset people.
Was it Divorce Babe?
Let me play you
Is that what she said?
what she said.
She really wasn't expecting this one at all. Like, yeah, and also I would say, you know, I understand why the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do.
Cancel her.
I do.
Cancel her.
I'm really proud of us. I really, really am. Thank you so much.
Fairly innocuous, I would have thought. Right?
Awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe she'd say such a thing.
Wrong. She is being accused of transphobia
Can you imagine?
for these comments.
I'm
So you
offended.
can't even be proud of being a
And
woman.
of being a turf.
Yeah, Yemi made a comment about how they have changed the structure of the Brits this year, turning it to gender neutral, meaning that across a number of categories, they've gone from having a individual male and individual female award to just having a best award. So
I'm for that.
best album, best artist, best international, yada, yada, yada.
I'm
and
for that.
And we can get onto why you're for that in a second. That comment about loving being a woman caused quite a shitstorm. And Yemi just referred to the term TERF, or trans-exclusionary radical feminist.
Haram.
And that is what Adele has been labelled this week. I'm laughing because Peter's shaking his head. Peter is pissed.
Nonsense.
He is pissed. One tweet was, who'd have thought Adele was a transphobe
I got that one too.
and would use her platform to call for the destruction of the trans community,
Very good.
especially the confused teenagers. Do you have some other tweets?
I do.
Wonderful.
So, I've got from Jacob at Oh Hey Jacob. Because why not?
Free
Why?
promo.
Why?
Fucking free promo. Shout out Jake.
Because why
Bleep him
not?
out.
Please, no. Adele can't be a turf. That last comment, though ambiguous, could be perceived as turfy. Please, no. It gets better. One other comment says, Adele is disgusting. Saying she loves being a woman at a gender-neutral event is a slap in the face of the organisers and stinks of turf malcontent. No one cares about your cis privilege. Hashtag turf.
Pete.
Strong.
Pete, I'm
Well, leave me alone.
I'm throwing you in a
Nah,
deep
leave me
end, bro.
alone, man. Leave me alone.
He's rolling in the deep.
who better to unpack this
Bruv, leave me alone.
than
man.
4 red-blooded males
Yes.
Oh no.
Let's get up in women's
to
business.
talk about women's business
Progressive males.
Let's
Progressive.
go.
and turf shit.
I hate this world, man.
Go on,
I hate this world. We can't-
unleash.
we
Go
can't
off,
say
sis.
Do you
shit
need
no
more rum? Do you need more rum?
Yeah, give me a little bit of rum, man.
Yeah, fuck it.
But I hate this world.
Go
Man.
off.
So what? She can't even be proud of being a woman no more.
Nope.
Why? What's wrong with what she
Because-
said? What was wrong with what she said?
Because turf, bro.
What the fuck is even
Because
that?
turf.
What is that?
Because turf. It's
Because-
trans-exclusionary
because
radical
that's
feminist.
Yo, we need to chill, man.
They got J.K. Rowling the fuck out of here.
Bruv,
They ran
we-
up on her crib.
Fully
Bruv,
out
we need
of
to
it.
chill, man.
They ran up on her
Fully out of
yard.
Society needs to chill. Social media needs to chill. People need to chill, man. We need to relax, man. What is all of this now, man? It's
This
getting
is-
ridiculous at
this
this
is,
point. We can't
this
say
is-
nothing no more.
This
bruv.
is the beast that white women created.
You said you
Coming
were
back to
for.
bite them.
Now that's an interesting point. Can you elaborate?
No.
He just wanted to be salacious.
No, but I mean, like, there's a deeper point we'll get to. So the reason I'm for the gender neutral
Yeah.
thing, simply because it just cuts this time in half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Award shows are
This-
shit.
Yeah, it's pointless.
They're
Just
awful.
go up, clap, collect your thing, fuck off. Yeah.
Honestly.
I got news to watch. On the deeper point, it's kind of the problem with. Do you know? I was having a chat with my mum today. Yeah.
Shout out, Mumsy.
Shout out, mummy. About I had to use the side entrance at work, not because of my status in society, but because there was a protest planned outside the office. And she said, "Who's protesting?" I said, "Well, Extension Rebellion often protest outside my place of work." She said, "Why is that?" And I said, "Well, you know, we're a bank and we probably lend some money to some people who do shit that's not great for the environment. It's how finance works. It's not ideal, but they seem to target us." And they're always there. And she goes, "Why are they always protesting?" I said, as a joke, "Because they're fucking Marxists and they don't have a job." And she says, "Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? When I was growing up, the working classes didn't have time to do this shit." And I said, "Well, none of these people who are actually doing these protests are working class."
Facts.
And this discourse is basically the inevitable end of neo-Marxist ideological politics or identity politics, in that we've now come to a point where
Yo, they're gonna kill us proper liberals.
Yeah, big time.
Off, bro. They're killing us proper liberals off.
Well,
We are.
Please don't ever call me a liberal, but
You're liberal. You're a liberal
no,
person.
I'm literally a socialist. But we're now at a point where
Socialists are fairly liberal.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck he's
Why are
talking
you
about.
running away from that?
I don't even. Sometimes
Socialists are.
sometimes I just
Come on,
let
bro.
Johnny just get
there's
his
not a
shit
big
off.
L,
with that.
not a
There's
big
nothing
L
wrong
liberal.
with that.
Don't call me
I
a big
didn't
L.
say. I said we were liberals, and that's a mindset more than a fucking political stance. Carry on.
Sharing the land is fairly liberal.
Fairly socialist.
Anyway,
Fairly liberal.
we're gonna get to a point
Big
of
L,
no
little L.
return. We're gonna get to a point of no return. You guys want Trump back. You want all of this far right narrative to
I
get
want Trump
deeper
back.
and deeper
I
and
want
deeper.
Trump back.
You are going about it the right fucking way, buddy.
I want Trump
honestly.
back. I want Trump back on Twitter mainly because it's fucking lit.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you keep saying that, but I've really enjoyed not seeing his tweets for the last year. I've really enjoyed it.
I haven't
Yeah.
even noticed, to be fair.
yeah,
And
you're
that feels great, right?
Yeah.
You're both lacking with a capital L. Anyway, back to the point. We're now basically at a point in this fucking weird identity politics discourse where one cannot take pride in one's own being without seemingly causing offense to those who don't relate to your identity. And ironically, it's actually the same shit that liberals get upset with when people start talking about being proud to be British. Some people are proud to be British. Some people are proud to be English. Now, of course, that comes with baggage that you may think that they haven't unpacked or whatever, but that's not to say that they hate other people because they're proud to be English.
I'm going to tell you, I told you so in just a second. I'm going to let you get your shit off and I'm going to link it to last week.
But it's
carry
the
on.
exact same thing that Adele's saying. Adele hasn't said anything about trans people. She hasn't made a comment.
No. Where was this energy with Marcus Rashford and Wiley the other time?
I didn't say
Told you
Marcus
so.
Rashford. I didn't
Told
say
you
Marcus
so.
Rashford did anything.
You shouldn't have to come out and say every fucking thing you're against for
And
people
I
to know
agreed.
your body.
And I
You
agreed.
did not.
I did.
We recorded it.
We'll listen to it. This
You
is
were like,
Quizgate all over again.
No, your exact words were, he should have come out and said that he's against it. He did.
I said he
and
did.
Now, no, you
said
said
he
he
did.
You said it.
I think I low-key
Are you
played
gonna let
devil's
me
advocate
land?
as well,
Huh?
I think I low-key played devil's advocate as well.
No, Johnny said, I listened to it again. Johnny said he should have come out and said it. He did. And now we should leave him alone. And I'm
After
saying,
the
and
Ferrari
my
kicked
thing
off.
was, you shouldn't have to. Adele shouldn't have to say, I am pro the trans community.
So this is going to piss him off, but it's a
she
false
shouldn't.
equivalence again.
Oh, it's not a fucking false
a false
equivalence.
equivalence again.
You say that every time.
Well, you keep making false equivalences.
Bullshit.
The point is that her being proud to be a woman is not a comment on the trans community. And now we're back into Dave Chappelle territory.
But fam, Wiley taking a picture, Marcus Rashford rather, taking a picture with Wiley.
Doesn't make him anti-Semitic.
I said that. I agreed.
He is the slippery as Yo, you're Floyd Mayweather with the
You
fucking
are,
neck
you are,
roll.
yeah,
You're Floyd with the neck roll. Honest to God.
You are.
I agreed.
Jesus, carry on.
I agreed as I'm recording. Anyway, this is it is the inevitable end. It's the inevitable end of bullshit discourse from people who have no connection to either left wing, small L, liberal, Marxist, whatever. It's just this is unfortunately where we both end up sounding like Piers Morgan. It's wokery for the sake of it.
Yep.
Right. And I'm sure that it's tough that these trans kids go. It's unimaginable the trauma that these trans kids go through in a society that isn't geared towards trans people, but they don't also realize that the vast majority of people just don't give a shit.
But also,
Just don't give a
also,
shit.
but not being geared towards them doesn't mean you're anti-trans.
Exactly.
Also,
Yeah.
the Brits doing a gender-neutral event, whether they did or not, is not an attack on the trans community.
Yeah. It's
And
pretty
that
pro
should- that
fucking
should go
trans.
without
It's
saying,
pretty
no?
accommodating.
Yeah.
It's pretty accommodating to actually swerve off people who are proud of being women. She couldn't collect female artist of the year. She might have won a gender neutral thing anyway, but she might have wanted to be female artist of the year and she couldn't. But that's fine because we accommodated.
Yeah.
Still not enough.
Yeah, and back to what we were saying about women's position rather in society, and the fact that we need to hold them on a fucking pedestal, put them in positions. I don't agree with your whole thing about making. I know you did it for different reasons. I know you agree with it for different reasons, but I don't agree with this conflation. I don't agree with this consolidation of it all, because ultimately we do need to recognize the contributions of a whole bunch of diverse backgrounds, genders, and so on and so forth. It has to happen. More awards is fine. It's just a bit of metal to the Brits Awards, but it's everything to Adele and her team, the people that you don't see, the people who then go on LinkedIn and be like, I worked on Adele on her Brit Award-winning 30 album.
I did her light
it's
show for her stage
I did the
award,
light
yeah.
show for this and so on and so forth. It's so important that we actually broaden the amount. Maybe, clearly the awards shows, the ceremonies themselves need to tighten it up, make it a bit more entertaining, not have Mo Gilligan as the host and so on and so forth. But
Keep Maya Jama, bro.
That wasn't a shot. Keep Maya all day. She
Maya
she
Jama.
doesn't have to dress though, but that's another story.
Debatable.
No. She needs a new stylist. I'll be honest.
Not that night.
We need more.
Anti-stylist. He did this last week with Marcus Rashford.
We do need more.
That's
We do need
defended
more.
my guy again.
Have you seen me dressed though? Anyway, like we need more, and I feel like they missed the trick. I think we're going to return back to gender-based awards in the future. If it's fucking Sam Smith and Will Young as the biggest fucking advocates for a gender-neutral thing, I put it to you that it's probably not going to last for very long. These two schmucks.
Well, here's the thing: as much as Adele's being criticised, she's also had a lot of people jump to her defence. So there was a author called Jane Simons who tweeted a decade ago: if someone had said a woman would get criticised for the thought crime of saying she liked being a woman, I would have laughed at such a ludicrous suggestion. Now it is happening. I don't know whether to cry or scream. Congratulations, Adele, and thank you.
I want Peter to go off because he's frustrated.
Fam, I think I'm too like frustrated to even articulate it properly, but because you man have pretty much like hit the nail on the head. I just don't understand why there's always an uproar with. No, I can't talk. If I talk, I'm gonna get in trouble. Man.
Please.
This is
If
what,
I talk, I'm
We
gonna
need
get
a couple viral moments.
I just don't understand why like there's always an uproar with like the Alphabet Gang. I don't understand. I don't
actually
understand.
said it.
He used it.
Every
He actually
time,
said
bruv.
it.
Every
He used
time,
the
He actually
bruv.
said
term.
it.
He used the
They're
term.
like-
Every
He
time
actually
I
said
feel
it.
like I feel like they pull themselves into a lot of conversations that don't even involve them. Hence this Adele situation. It had nothing to do with men or any trans community at all. It was simply about being proud to be a woman. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Now listen, we
Why
don't-
does that even need to be a conversation?
we don't
bro?
want to generalise because obviously it's certain sections.
No, let's generalise.
No,
I'm
let's
here for
generalise,
the.
bruv, man,
I'm here
because
for
it's
the.
the-
No,
it's the same
let's-
thing that-
No, Yemi. Respectfully, let him go off.
Fam, it's the same
I
thing that
need
Dave
this.
Chappelle was saying, bruv. Of course we need to generalise, bruv, because it's the same shit that happens every time, bruv. Every time there's something that happens, that community specifically comes out and is in an uproar. All the time, bruv. I'm tired, man.
I'm tired. I don't
bruv.
tire.
It's a jarring conversation at this point, man. When there's like specific conversations that are targeting that sect of people, cool, I understand it. But when it don't involve them, bruv, mind your business, man. It's got nothing to do with you. They're not talking. No one's talking to you.
I agree in that respect.
I think we do need to realise that there's a reason that papers like the Daily Mail run these headlines, and it's so that it elicits reactions like these out of people, and that actually is an extreme minority of people on Twitter or public discourse who are saying these kinds of things and criticising Adele. But the press would have you believe that it's 50% of the conversation, and that's how you move the Overton window to the right. That's how you make people feel like modern society is all about radical inclusionary bullshit or ultimate wokeness. Most people, 95% of people, don't give a shit.
100%.
But also,
But it's the
when
way
you're
that
trying-
this stuff is framed in the media that makes people upset.
Can we now get back to the initial point of Adele after a month and a half of her album being out, winning album of the year?
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's very
Artist
cheeky.
We knew
That's
that was going to
extremely
happen, though.
cheeky,
the
man.
year.
Anytime Adele lands, she's sweeping all of the awards. We know this.
Do you see why I ultimately hung up my mic and went into semi-retirement? I can't be bothered, bruv.
We
This
need to set a
industry is-
criteria
The game
for
is
how
rigged.
long
Fucking
albums need to
dead.
be
The game
out
is rigged.
before
The
they're
game is
even
rigged.
considered for awards.
Bruv.
Because
Bruv.
if it came out in November, we're now in February.
Can I be honest?
I don't understand.
Nobody has spoken about Adele's album since after the week it came out. Let's be real. We're music heads in this room. Nobody has spoken about that album. If you see the credits, it's Goran, the collaborator of Childish Gambino, the Swedish lad. It's Max Martin, the biggest Swedish producer of all time. It's Inflow on that thing.
Big up.
So you're expecting big things. It's not big, oh.
I'm just looking at the
And she won
nominees.
everything.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Trying to
who
look at the
else was
nominees
nominated?
for the best album. I think Dave was.
Dave
Little
was in
Sim-
there.
Little Sims was.
Infinitely better. Little Sims.
Sam Fender was as well. So it was Adele 30, Sam Fender 17 going under, Ed Sheeran equals, Dave all alone in this together, Little Sims sometimes I might be introvert.
Yeah, see, it's a slap in the face to all of those artists, man, who have produced music. They released their albums like way before that Adele's album came out, and they're being completely overlooked just because a big an artist has dropped their album. That's completely unfair, man, because you could argue that those albums that dropped were better quality music anyway. So it's a complete shunning of the artists that had released music before and have released better music.
So you said Dave and Little Sims were in there?
Yes.
It's a rig.
It's 100%.
Full stop.
The
It's a
game is
rig.
And it
rigged,
sounds
but
like
the game...
essentially that the only way they were going to get Adele to that awards was by making sure she won.
Bingo. Her appearance fee was the awards.
She lives in LA.
Let's keep it a buck. Her appearance fee. There were people who were actually in the UK who didn't even show up to the Brits, right? I think Little Mix didn't show up, and somebody else big who are in the UK, they were like, nah, B. And that tells me a lot, by the way.
Can I ask a question? Would Adele have known she's going to win before she turned
That's
up?
what we're saying. Yes.
So she knew.
In some instances,
Is that how it works? I don't know.
In
how it
some
works.
instances, it's like the legend that follows Beyonce.
Yeah.
Right. She doesn't show up unless she's winning shit.
Okay.
Basically.
So you know when like you do the Oscars and there's like the 4 actors like sitting there like someone already knows that they've won.
So not always. It's not always predetermined, right? There is an element of surprise. The envelopes are only revealed or given to the presenters at the last minute and so on and so forth. But there are some award ceremonies that when they go through the organization process, they weigh up who of all the celebrities or big artists in the world are available to come. They go through them, and if it's looking pretty peak because none of the big people want to come, they're like, if you come, we'll give you the best artist.
It's just a
Oh,
popularity
for real?
contest.
Of course.
Award shows are
boy.
popularity contests. They always have been.
Yeah, of course.
They always have been.
But anyway,
She's an amazing singer, though.
I just don't.
She looks great too.
Her music isn't amazing, but her voice.
She
is
doesn't
really,
look
really
great.
good.
She doesn't look
Incredible.
great.
I've had
She
to
does
listen
look-
to
She
the
doesn't look
slander.
great.
She does look great.
She looks
No,
cool.
she looks good, man.
She
Are
looks
you,
great.
are you guys saying that because she's lost weight?
Yeah.
Yes.
What
100%.
else?
You guys are weightist.
Don't do that.
No,
No, you are.
Listen,
No, you are.
bigger people
You
can
are.
look great
you
too.
Are. You weren't saying she looks great when she was.
So what? I can't say she lost
Updated
weight. She
some
looks
people.
great.
I don't understand why people say that. I'm not talking about how she looks. I'm talking about her music. Her music is dead.
Oh, her music
voice is
I mean, I
incredible.
haven't listened, but
Voice is
She
fucking
looks
incredible.
good. I don't
The
care.
19 album's really
I
good.
don't care. Everyone gets sucked into her gum fingers and her Cockney shit. I don't give a shit. Her music is whack, yo. It's whack.
I've never listened, so and I never will.
It's really depressing.
This is not
dead.
this
I've
is
never
not
listened.
a pod position. This is a rich.
No,
only
I get
position.
impassioned. I get impassioned, innit? I've got very.
She's a Tottenham fan. I can't listen to this.
I've got
willingly.
exquisite-
You
I
man
mean,
defended
I like-
Chris Kirkland.
I mean, she's
I'm
from
going to
Brits,
defend
but
Adele.
I like her. I like her. But I do think it's just a lot of like, yeah.
It gets a bit tired afterwards.
I
The
can't
whole
be
Adele
arsed.
shtick.
I can't be asked. Anyway, good luck to them. I hope that the gender awards come back. Solidarity and love to the trans community. Look, this just really wasn't, in my opinion, this is my view again, really wasn't a battle to battle. There really wasn't much in it. But to Johnny's point, maybe no one actually really does care. Maybe the reason why podcasts are so good is because we make stories out of things that aren't necessarily stories. But we've got some
have.
breaking news from the government, apparently.
Pretty mad. Normally we fucking miss this shit. But as we've been on air discussing Adele, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has received a questionnaire from the Metropolitan Police.
What does that mean?
So the red line for many Tory MPs was if Boris Johnson's issued a fixed penalty notice, i.e. basically convicted or found guilty by the Met of having broken the law. And as part of the Met taking over the Sue Gray inquiry, the shtick was that was he going to be questioned? Was he going to be charged with anything? Generally speaking, the Met wouldn't be sending these types of questionnaires unless they considered someone needing to present a case for the defence.
Hey.
It's basically an indicator that the Met thinks Boris has a case to answer.
Hey.
And he is now going to have to get his own lawyers to email a statement of defence. I expect this one to kick off nasty over the weekend.
What you should do? Every time you record, you should ask Johnny, how close are we to Boris leaving?
Well, I think he's going to lose the bet. I think he's going to be gone by summer. He thinks he's going to be gone by the end of the year.
No, I pulled forward my projection. I said by conference we'd have a new leader.
Which is when?
September.
Okay, bet.
End of summer.
Yeah. So I said he would survive March, whatever, but I like going into late spring is when he gets in.
Right. What else can we talk about? There's obviously been some Joe Rogan related issues, and us as podcasters, what happens to who is essentially the biggest podcaster in the world is always of interest because it has massive effects on how we do our thing long term. And I know that he's on a completely different scale, but the whole situation the whole situation with regards to like freedom of speech and vaccine misinformation and his use of the N-word, we could touch upon it, but I actually want to wait until that story develops because I think it's going to get quite interesting. I always think that when they bring out archival footage and so on and so forth, that's just typically the start of more bullshit that's to come. So I'm sure Joe is going to have to atone for a lot more fuckery. And, you know, who knows? Spotify then might make the move of firing him or cutting off the contract because things get a bit too hot for them. I don't think they will, but we'll wait to see how that develops. He is their cash cow at the moment, and their whole direction into podcasting is very much correlated with his success. So, yeah, we'll touch upon that when we come back. Before we move on to relationship advice, I do want to get a bit serious about something that I'm not going to lie, I'm still very pissed off about. One of my, and I think like Yemi and Pete, do you listen to him much?
I've listened to some stuff.
Yeah. I know you listen to him a lot. I certainly listen to him a fucking lot, and I've loved him for years and years and years. Isaiah Rashad, I don't know why I just dismissed Johnny out of that like he's not a hip-hop head.
I was thinking that, but I was going to style it out and just move on, innit?
I love my old school hip hop. I got no idea who this guy is.
All right, cool. So Isaiah Rashad
was a girl.
is a rapper from TDE, and TDE, yeah, I think with some TDE stands here. Top Dog Entertainment, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Sir, Absol, Schoolboy Q, Zachary, who else?
Lance
Skywalker, Reason. Is Reason still there? Mm-hmm. Essentially, in my view, one of the best things that's happened to hip hop in the last 10 years. Isaiah Rashad was signed to the label probably 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. He's had a few albums, a couple of mixtapes, and he recently released a much critically acclaimed album, The House is Burning. One of my favorite Instagram pages, Sleeping on Gems, was they uploaded like a dedication to him, and they left something in the comment which was like very curious to me. It was like sending Isaiah Rashad some love right now, da 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 da. And I panicked. I thought he had died or something, and they just didn't want to say it. So I went onto Google and I saw what the article was, and much to my disgust, the article that had been released was a story that a video had emerged of 3 men performing sexual acts on each other, one of which was Isaiah Rashad. So this has obviously done the rounds. He has been identified. And while the support has been massive, right? The support and the warmth and the love and the well wishes has been in abundance from all corners of hip hop. Obviously, the bigger stars have been quiet because homophobia is massively rife in that community. But it rattled me for hours and hours. I couldn't sleep. I was so angry that they would do this to this guy. And the reason why I feel so angry about it is because this is a guy who's basically worn his demons on his chest since he came out. So depressed from jump. It's in his music. Alcoholism, it's been there. It's in his music. Drug use, it's all there, right? He's got 2 kids from a previous relationship and has never really spoken about his sexuality. So of course it was a surprise to all of his fans that he was gay or whatever, but who the fuck cares? This isn't really a discussion point. I just want to say that I'm genuinely quite sick and tired of like living in an era, living in a time where people feel like they can toy with people's deepest, darkest secrets like that. People kill themselves for less. There's nothing more degrading, humiliating than not revealing your sexuality on your own terms. Something that he has clearly gone out of his way to hide, to hold from people. He's gone into hiding, it would appear. He's not emerged. He's gone completely sort of blacked out, not addressed it yet. But I'm just appalled that people just seemingly won't be satisfied until somebody like him kills himself. These are people with, as I said, histories of depression and alcoholism. And I need a spaceship to somewhere where there's more humanity, RT.
Well, first things first, fuck the person / people who leaked the video. Mm-hmm. Just get that out of the way.
Yep.
I mean, thoughts and prayers with Isaiah Rashad. No one deserves to be outed in that way. A severe invasion of privacy. For what? Likes? Views? Like, what was the end goal here? I found myself, when I heard the news, shouted to myself in my house, who cares if he's gay or bi or whatever he is? Who actually cares? This is one of the many reasons why I just hate people.
But I hate hip hop as well.
And hip hop generally, because some of the commentary around this topic has been just sickening on Twitter, social media, wherever you look. Like, we are still so regressive in that respect, the hip hop community. To think that hip hop's been around for so long and we still have a problem with a rapper being gay.
I don't understand how people think that, like, in a genre that's been around for 40 years, there isn't going to be some people in there who are gay, in the community who are gay. And what I also don't understand is, like, you guys don't like it when it's Lil Nas X with the overt homosexuality. Like, he wears his sexuality on his fucking sleeve, right? You don't like that, and you also don't like the people who actually want to keep it to themselves. So, like...
So what do you want?
They just don't want it.
What do you want?
They don't want it.
They don't want it at all.
Like-
They don't want it. They don't want it.
It's disgusting.
Like,
homosexuality in hip hop, that's a deeper conversation, man.
Massive.
It's probably a conversation that a lot of people are just not ready to have, man. The genre is just not ready to accept
Well,
an openly homosexual rapper.
Hip hop,
Because
football,
of bravado,
yeah.
whatever it is, but it's just something that we may not see to be accepted within our lifetime. It's unfortunate, but it just seems that that's the way it is. Unless, I guess, the higher ups within the genre of music, I guess, speak up more about it.
But who are the higher ups?
Executives, labels, the most popular artists, if they align themselves with rappers that are openly homosexual, then that's where you may see a sort of shift in how people receive it and take it in.
So I know Rich doesn't think Frank Ocean's gay, but Frank Ocean's quite popular.
I caught a little bit of heat for that.
Does Frank Ocean get away with it because he's not a hip hop artist? Like, where I don't really understand where the line. I genuinely don't understand.
Even in
where the line
R&B
is
music,
drawn.
because he's
R&B.
not. Yeah, because he's not
not
already
rapping, he's
kind of.
singing.
No, because hip hop is masculine. It's a masculine sport. Anything that kind of deviates from that is an issue. Frank Ocean, I've never come across anybody who thinks of Frank Ocean as masculine. So when he comes out as gay and he's an R&B singer, it doesn't matter as much.
So it's fine because he does R&B.
Not as much, but it still matters because typically in R&B and soul music, you don't really come across many male openly gay singers.
Yeah.
That's just not something that we've experienced. So it still matters, but the bravado in R&B is not there like it is in hip hop. So people don't care as much. But look at Tyler, the Creator. I think, is he gay?
But
Well,
I think.
Has he toyed with it?
He said that he alluded to it.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fine. But yeah, I mean, it seems as though even him alluding to it has been somewhat
Yeah,
accepted.
he gets
It's been-
away
it's been
with
welcomed.
it. He gets away with it, and you both bring up really good points. Like Frank and Tyler are both Odd Future. They're both associated with what a lot of people in the hip hop community would call weird, right? So they almost have a cloak of acceptance because they're Odd Future. But Tank tomorrow, if he comes out as being gay, is slightly different because his whole image has been centered around women, sexuality, so on and so forth. If Ghostface Killer tomorrow comes out as being gay, fucking, it's gonna be the biggest announcement in hip hop.
Interesting fact
Just
on him,
because
though.
of the brand that these people have cultivated.
His son apparently is gay.
Oh yeah,
Ghostface Killer, yeah. But it's just not really covered or spoken about much.
is his son a rapper?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen.
Probably already happened.
Of course,
Definitely already
There are
happened.
loads of rappers who are probably out there right now who are sitting on that secret.
Game said it time ago.
Come
Game
on.
said there's way more gay rappers in
Like,
the game than you know.
There are loads of rumors around Kanye West and his time in Paris and his time in Europe, by the way. Like, genuinely legitimate good sources who have said that Kanye West has been up to, like, all kinds of stuff with regards to, like, his sexuality when he was living in Europe. But again, who cares?
But it kind of begs the question, like, how much has hip hop progressed really?
It hasn't. That's the biggest fucking fallacy. But anyway, look, Isaiah Rashad, I'm literally, every single time I switch on my Instagram, nervous that I'm going to see your face with a fucking "we're sad to inform you" type post. I really, really hope
God forbid.
that you don't do that. God forbid. Everybody loves you. I put up a little thing yesterday. I know people didn't understand why. I had to explain to a lot of people what was going on. But everybody who likes Isaiah Rashad, just fucking send support in whichever way you can, man. He needs the love and the light, honestly, because this is fucking crazy. And as Yemi said before, honestly, respectfully to the person who put it out there, please eat a dick.
No, respectfully, bro.
And I try to be as respectful as I can, but
Nah,
please eat
fuck
a
that.
dick. Anyway, relationship advice, B.
It's a Peter again.
I think he's had his fucking time to shine. This clown,
stories, bro.
this clown.
I went to
I got
Ice
some heat
Wharf
for that,
in
man.
Camden.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, from some of my female friends.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man.
You sound surprised.
I am a bit surprised.
Oh,
None
yeah?
of them were on my side.
We'll talk about it.
Oh, are you, okay.
Oh, really?
None of them were on my side.
All right, Johnny.
What a shocker that is. Submission from Team Adele, because we're not allowed to say the W word. I've been seeing my boyfriend for about a year. We met on Hinge and started out with lockdown dating, which really took off last summer, and I spent Christmas at his parents' house and met his family. They're all wonderful, and he's everything I've been looking for in a partner. Previously, I've been unlucky with boyfriends who haven't been faithful to me, but he makes me feel secure and special, and I love seeing him after work and spending our weekends together. We've discussed moving in together, and I would love to, brackets, this London isn't cheap, close brackets, but I've said I want him to meet my family first before we do. He agreed. We're planning to fly to, guess the country, to see them.
Dubai.
I haven't seen them since before the pandemic,
Rwanda.
but I have a bit of a problem. My mum is
Papua
a
New
cancer
Guinea.
survivor and has had to be very careful with COVID back home, being pretty reclusive while my dad's been careful going to work. My boyfriend isn't anti-vax as such, but he doesn't want to take the jab, and I've tried so many times to convince him, brackets, I am triple jabbed. I feel like I respect his decision to do what he wants with his body, but introducing him to my mum whilst he isn't jabbed is a risk I'm not sure I want to take. I've not wanted to make this a deal breaker, but it just feels like it's come to a head. I won't move in with him without him meeting my parents, and he accepts it, but he is still doing nothing to make that a possibility.
The fuck is?
I really want to introduce him to them, but I can't take the risk with my mum. What do I do?
So she's reconsidering this whole union because he's not
A deal breaker.
essentially.
The thing is that she won't move in until he meets her parents,
Okay.
and he's not doing what is required to make that a possibility.
Can they not just like throw it back to like early days of lockdown where he just like shows up to the other side of her garden and then she just comes out and just says hello, they have a chat and then
But also, like,
let's go back to our flat in Bethnal Green and get it jiggy.
but Zoom's right there as well. Like, you could do like a virtual link
Yeah.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
I guess she wants to take him home. She wants to take him home.
It just seems as if she's trying, not necessarily force, but she's trying to influence his decision to take a jab by, I don't know if she's threatened to break up with him, but if she's feeling like it's a deal breaker and if it doesn't happen,
But she said, I don't want to make it a deal breaker.
I mean, you basically have already, man.
Yeah.
You basically already have. So by not wanting to make it a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. And if you feel like you can't continue with this person because of it, it just feels a little bit like you're pressuring them to do it.
It's coercion, but Johnny doesn't believe in coercion, does it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So has she said what would happen if he doesn't take the jab then?
No, I've got what have you got? What
It's
you-
implied. It's
That she'll
implied.
break up with him.
Well,
It's
no, she
implied.
won't move in with him. She won't move in with him. She won't move in with him until he meets the parents, and she won't introduce him whilst he's not jabbed.
And it has to be face to face.
Yeah.
And I guess long term, right? Like he's gonna need to be jabbed because you can't do Zoom meetings forever.
We'll
Right.
do a Zoom wedding.
But to Yemi's point, it does sound like she is trying to force my man to go and get the jab. And it's a responsible thing to do, young man, if that's what you want to do. But that really shouldn't really be a part of the overall... That shouldn't be a part of the relationship at all, I don't think. She can't be all that respectful of him and in love with him if she doesn't respect his wishes in not putting that thing into his body and all the effects that come with it. Ooh, wouldn't want to be a Joe Rogan and spread misinformation right now, though, would I?
It's a deep one though, because obviously she wants it. She wants the relationship to progress. She wants him to meet her parents, but at the same time, you're kind of saying these are the rules you have to follow in order to do that, which isn't necessarily right.
And that's not what relationships are about, man. They're about compromise.
So who was the rapper that come out in the video that caused the furore last week about fixing his wife's plate before his mum? Did anyone see that video?
No.
No,
I had maybe heard of his name, but I've definitely forgotten it now. But basically, there was a rapper who got into heat on Instagram and on the discourse because he said he would fix his wife's dinner plate before he fixed his mother's. And then there was a whole chat about at what point does your spouse take over from your parents and parents understanding the role in the relationship. Is she not just... She maybe not yet at a point where she's ready to prioritize him over her mum.
which is
I
fine.
mean, and we don't know what her mum thinks about this, do we?
Well, her mum's a cancer survivor. She doesn't want to meet him without a jab, right? You can imply that from the message.
Look, this isn't going to end nicely. This is what I'm going to say. I don't think it's going to end nicely because your mum doesn't go from being a cancer survivor to not being a cancer survivor, right? That's pretty much a lifetime thing. So they are either going to have to get comfortable with the fact that the pandemic is turning to an endemic, is potentially just going to be a cold once we get through the next few months, and get comfortable with that and the fact that this guy might not want to get jabbed, or ultimately, despite what she says, this is in fact a deal breaker.
So I have a solution.
Uh-oh.
Just jab him in his sleep.
Where would one procure the jab, Johnny? Where would she get one?
2 words. Simon
Leviev. Okay. I'm not
And
sure
on
that's.
that note,
He would be the plug though, wouldn't he?
I'm not sure that's his bag, to be honest.
He
He's
would be
in
the plug.
diamonds. He's in weapons. He's a Mossad agent.
He knows a guy.
He's
he
a
knows
pilot.
A guy. Yeah.
We all know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, he'll definitely know.
We
guys.
got doctors.
He'll definitely
We
know
got a
guys.
surplus of doctors.
Thankfully, in the interest of time, that was one of the easier relationship advices.
Yeah, you man batted that at the park, to be fair.
To get through. Please continue to send in your dilemmas to This Could End Terribly. However, which way you want to get in touch with us, Instagram is easier. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. How will you be spending Valentine's Day? Because by the time this goes out, Tuesday morning. So people will be waking up from their night of lust and licking.
Yes. Kleenex
Right?
all over the
We
floor.
are going to be the soundtrack
Yes.
to their post-Valentine's Day feels.
Yes. The commute. The post
The walk of shame. We're going to be all over that. What are you, man, going to be doing?
I'm seeing someone the day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Peter told me this before. Peter's not actually taking this lady out on Valentine's Day. He's taking her out the day before.
Shout out to
if
her.
that doesn't scream fuck boy, I don't know what does.
On a Sunday, on God's day.
Sunday.
That's
So
your
on
brother.
God's day to avoid
Sunday.
Valentine's.
That's your brother.
Haram.
Rumor has it he's kicking her out before midnight as well.
Jesus.
No chance.
11:59.
No chance
Boom.
she ever calls this a Valentine's Day thing.
Can
The
I
door
stay
slams
over?
at
Can I stay over?
No.
No, you can't.
The door slams at 11:59. For sure.
For whoever's listening, it's all jokes. I'm not saying no one before Valentine's Day, man. Don't listen to these men at all.
What we're doing, yeah?
I'm doing it just for content. None
Straight
of this
to
is
now.
true.
Is this what we're doing for
straight-
content, yeah?
I'm
It's very
single. I'm
true.
lonely. I'm by myself.
Straight
the night
line.
He's
before
never
and the
said
night off.
he's never said content before, so you know it's
Doing it for content.
you know it's cap. And he's wearing a cap too.
Johnny, what are you doing? Careful.
I'm gonna watch some football. Gonna mind my own business.
Is football on?
There'll be a game somewhere.
For you.
Watch the highlights of something.
There'll be a game somewhere.
I'll be having a nice evening with the missus. I think she'll be cooking. And yeah, exchanging gifts, chilling out, really.
Wait, you lot give each other Valentine's Day gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been roped in, bro.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you need to cut that out. ASAP.
What's the?
Yeah, I thought maybe just like roses and like a
Yeah,
meal.
you need to cut that
I didn't
out
know
ASAP.
that there was actual gifts.
Excuse me.
I mean, it's
Excuse me. What's
it's
the
not that big.
What's the budget?
it's like it's not that much to be fair.
I bet your budget's bigger than hers.
Um,
Why you
no,
laughing?
not even to be honest. Not even. It's really cheap. Like what I got was just
Nice.
Is it about the meaning, not the cost?
Nice.
So what are you doing for Valentine's Day, bro?
I am doing sweet fuck all, my G.
What?
I'll be real.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
You got to treat your woman.
We literally hate each other right now, so I don't even know if we're gonna be talking. I don't even know if we're gonna be talking. I'll tell you, like, literally right now.
Silence and solitude.
Yeah.
Amen.
She might try to befriend me a little bit more Sunday night, innit?
Okay.
But yeah. Right now it's looking pretty like Monday Night Football. You feel me?
Is it Monday night? Oh, there might be a game on. Let me have a look quickly.
you might as well invite Johnny over. To be honest,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a bunch of bullshit. Bro.
talk about.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
All
about
right,
it.
all right, Romeo.
Speak
just
about
saying.
it.
Huge. Oh,
And I'm a
huge.
romantic person.
It's
Speak
actually
about
it's the Sam Allardyce derby. It's West Brom and Blackburn.
Humdinger.
That's all right. Still.
Yeah.
So look, once again, thank you very much for listening to This Could End Terribly, episode 34. Before we part, friend of the show, a loved one, ascended to the heavens this week. and we want to pay her respects. So before we finish up, and while I pour Johnny, you might want to take this.
Yeah, my dear Nana, bless her.
Oh man.
Passed away yesterday, the 10th of February. Eerily enough, almost 10 years to the day before her daughter, my auntie, died. Bless her, Jill Duncan, a pioneering woman in her own rights. She survived the Blitz in World War II. She used to tell a story of escaping the bouncing bombs in Croydon with the Luftwaffe flying overhead during the Blitz and having to hide under a bench to get away from a bomb that exploded away from her, proving that even in the 1940s, South London was a shithole.
There's 3 South Londoners here, Johnny.
And after the war, decided to take up the offer of being a £10 pom, which is quite problematic in hindsight. But it's when the government would let you emigrate to Australia on a boat for 10 quid. So she saved up her money and she went to go work as a nurse with the Aboriginal community in Alice Springs. If you've ever looked at a map of Australia, it's the dot right in the fucking middle. She went and did that for a few years. She came back. She also travelled behind the Iron Curtain as a woman on her own in the 50s. She sailed down the Danube River. She went to Hungary and Romania. During communist times, she was a very gifted fencer. If women were allowed to fence in the Olympics, there's a reasonable chance that she would have gone and done that. There's a famous story of her arguably stopping World War III when she worked for the Canadian military attaché. And the Yugoslavs were pissed that they hadn't got Trieste at the end of World War II. And to cut a long story short, she told the Canadian general that she was working for that there was a formation of blokes riding horses towards the Italian border. He decided to call the Secretary of State, who pulled the US president out of a meeting, and they persuaded the Yugoslavs not to attack the Italians. And that was all because Nana saw the horses going up the road. And a pioneer in her own rights, travelled all around the world on her own, which is a pretty rare thing for a woman to do in the 1950s, and raised 2 daughters pretty much on her own as well. Bless him for his good granddaddy, was pretty fucking useless at raising kids. So she raised 2 women on her own as a divorced woman, having travelled the world, which is a pretty unique thing to do. And she passed away in her 90s. She was actually so proud she never told anyone how old she was. So neither me or my brother have a fucking clue. Only the vicar and the doctor know how old she was when she went upstairs. So thank you, Nana. Thank you for everything. I miss you dearly.
Big up, Nana.
Rest
in peace. Rest in perfect peace.
A real Wonder Woman, man.
This could end terribly. Episode 34. We out.
See ya.